Chronicles of the Rise of a Cultivation Family. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 251, Selling Spiritual Fruits and Herbs. After returning to Pilomio Peak from Wangayu Peak, Yun Yongzhu went directly to the cave house's storehouse. Wang Yiming was already waiting at the gate. "Uncle Yun, you're back. Well, go in and take all the spiritual herbs and fruits with you." The two walked into the yard together and went to the storehouse. The storehouse was very large, and all the fruits from Yun Yongzhu's spiritual field were placed inside. As soon as Yun Yongzhu came in, he could see more than a dozen large boxes made of absolute spiritual wood not far from the door. He knew that they were filled with spiritual rice, including the first grade, upper, middle and lower grades. On the east and west sides of the storehouse were large and small wooden shelves, on which were stacked thousands of wooden boxes and jade boxes. "Uncle Yun, all the spiritual fruits here are the ones that were put into the warehouse yesterday. The types of spiritual fruits are all posted on the shelves. The ones over there are the newly dug green blood grass and blood recovery grass." Yun Yongzhu looked at the direction Wang Yiming pointed and nodded, indicating that he understood. Then he waved his hand and put most of the boxes into the storage bag, leaving only about 2,500 wooden boxes. Most of the remaining ones are spiritual fruits. Yun Yongzhu plans to keep them for himself and also wants to bring some back to the family for his family and clansmen to taste. Yun Yang also plans to take some green blood grass and blood recovery grass back to Yunwu Mountain. When he has free time, he can refine them into pills for his clansmen to take. Looking at the warehouse that was more than half empty, Yun Yongzhu and Wang Yiming flew out of Pilomio Peak together and went to the nearby Qingyuan market. Since he became a disciple at Pilomio Peak, he rarely went to the small market of the sect. On weekdays, Wang Yiming went to the market to buy the daily needs of the cave. Therefore, Wang Yiming was more familiar with Qingyuan market. With him leading the way, the two soon arrived at the Wanbao Pavilion. "Junior brother, I'm unfamiliar with you. I'm the manager of the second floor of the Wanbao Pavilion in Qingyuan market. Zhao Wuji, is there anything you need?" "Brother Zhao, I'm Yun Yongzhu, a disciple of Pilomio Peak. This time I came here to sell a batch of spiritual herbs and spiritual fruits grown in my own spiritual fields." The cultivator surnamed Zhao immediately stood up in awe and saluted Yun Yongzhu. "Junior brother Yun is polite. Senior brother is really short-sighted. I didn't recognize Master Zhu." Yun Yongzhu knew that he had some fame in the sect, but he was still a little surprised to see that the other party recognized him as soon as he mentioned his name. But this is better. The reason why Yun Yongzhu mentioned his identity is to facilitate Wang Yiming's future actions. Otherwise, who would care about him, a small outer sect disciple in the key training period? "Brother Zhao, thank you for your courtesy. Could you please take a look at my spiritual medicine and spiritual fruit first?" Yes, Brother Yun, please take out your spiritual medicine and spiritual fruit." Yun Yongzhu took out 8 jade boxes. Inside are 6 kinds of first grade low grade spiritual fruits. There are 2 boxes of jade blood grass and blood recovery grass. "Brother Zhao, please check them." The cultivator surnamed Zhao gently opened all the boxes and carefully checked them one by one. Soon he showed a happy expression. "Junior brother Yun, are all your spiritual fruits and spiritual herbs of this quality?" "Of course. Although my spiritual field is only of the first grade upper grade, it is on the second grade spiritual vein after all, so the quality of these spiritual fruits and spiritual herbs is unquestionable, and they have only been harvested 2 days ago, and the appearance is also very good." "I see. No wonder these spiritual fruits and spiritual herbs contain such rich spiritual energy. I wonder how many green blood grass, blood recovery grass and spiritual fruits junior brother Yun has." "There are 1,700 green blood grasses, 340 blood recovery grasses, 200 yellow jade peaches, red jade peaches, and jade peaches, 4,000 green dates and pink dates, and 20 red heart grapefruits." Zhao Wuji listened, thought for a while, and then spoke carefully. Junior brother Yun, the green blood grass is 5 spiritual stones per plant, and the blood recovery grass is 8 spiritual stones per plant. What do you think? Yun Yongzhu nodded in agreement. The purchase price was a bit high, but the quality of his medicine was also very high. He asked how to buy the spiritual fruits. Spirit peaches are 0.9 spirit stones each, spiritual dates are 0.05 spirit stones each, and red grapefruits are 4 spirit stones each. Junior brother Yun, is this price reasonable? Yun Yongzhu was not very satisfied. He had tasted them before. These spiritual fruits were of extraordinary quality. The spiritual power they contained was richer than ordinary first-grade low-grade spiritual fruits. Moreover, the size of the spiritual fruits was not small. The price of these spiritual dates was a bit low. He did not rush to refute. He took out more than 10 boxes of spiritual fruits, found the spiritual dates, and handed the box of green dates to the other party. Senior brother Zhao, try it first. Zhao Wuji raised his eyebrows. This showed that he was not satisfied with his purchase price. So he picked up a green date and ate it in no time. This spiritual date tastes good, and the spiritual energy contained is indeed abundant. Each one is 0.06 spiritual stones. I will take all 8,000 of them. What do you think? Add a little more. These spiritual fruits of mine ripen once a year. I also have first level, medium and high quality spiritual fruits. I will ask you to buy them in the future. Hearing this, Zhao Wuji pondered for a moment and said, okay, each of these spiritual dates is 0.065 spiritual stones. Junior brother Yun, have you brought all your spiritual fruits and spiritual herbs? Yun Yongzhu looked at the space in the room. I brought them, but I'm afraid this room can't hold them. Junior brother Yun, please follow me. Yun Yongzhu asked Wang Yiming to follow him. The two followed the old man surnamed Zhao out of the room, walked through a long corridor, and entered an empty room that was 2 or 3 times larger than the original room. Junior brother Yun, do you think this room is big enough? Enough. Then he put all the tens of thousands of boxes he brought into the storage bag. They are all here. Senior brother Zhao, please count them. The old man surnamed Zhao took a look with his spiritual sense and knew the number clearly. Then he opened a few more jade boxes at random, and the quality of the spiritual fruits and herbs inside was exactly the same as Yun Yongzhu said. After matching the number of spiritual herbs and fruits Yun Yongzhu said, he brushed his hand across his storage bag, and in an instant, a small pile of spiritual stones was spread on the ground. Junior brother Yun, this is 12,360 spiritual stones. You count them too. After Yun Yongzhu took out the spiritual stones, his spiritual sense swept over them, and the number was neither too much nor too little. Junior brother Zhao, it's a pleasure to work with you. In addition, please recognize the disciple behind me. His name is Wang Yiming. He is my spiritual plant husband and the manager of my cave. In the future, he will send the spiritual fruits harvested every year to Wanbao Pavilion for sale. Please don't embarrass him. The old man surnamed Zhao was delighted when he heard this and nodded quickly and said, of course, Junior brother Yun, don't worry. Then he turned to Wang Yiming, nodded, and said, little friend Wang is polite. Wang Yiming was flattered and bowed respectfully to the old man surnamed Zhao. Senior Zhao, please take care of me in the future. Yun Yongzhu exchanged a few polite words with the old man surnamed Zhao, and then took Wang Yiming back to Piomio Peak. After returning to Wasu residence, Wang Yiming stopped Yun Yongzhu who was about to go to the storeroom. Seeing him hesitant, Yun Yongzhu couldn't help but wonder. What's the matter? I'll know if you can tell me. If you need my help, that's fine. Wang Yiming mustered up the courage and explained the whole story to Yun Yongzhu. It turned out that he wanted to use the price of the sale to Wanbao Pavilion this time to buy a batch of spiritual fruits from Yun Yongzhu for his family. The spiritual power contained in spiritual fruits is several times that of spiritual rice. Cultivators who can't afford to buy elixirs will start with spiritual fruits. These spiritual fruits were all planted by Wang Yiming himself. Of course, he knew that the spiritual power contained in these spiritual fruits was higher than that of the spiritual fruits sold in the market. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Fortunately, there are still more than 2,000 in the warehouse. Uncle Yun, there are not many people in our family, only about 30 people, so we only need 300 spiritual fruits. 300 is really not a lot, Yun Yongzhu thought. I'm going to the warehouse, you can come with me. Chapter 252, Release of High-Level Spiritual Plant Husband Mission. Yun Yongzhu led Wang Yiming towards the warehouse, while explaining his plan to return to Yunzhou. Uncle Yun, you have only been back to the sect for more than 3 months, and you are going back to the family again. What about the things in this cave? Yun Yongzhu smiled and pointed at Wang Yiming. Aren't you here? I can't help in the cave anyway. You've been taking care of the cave and the spiritual fields. What are you talking about, Uncle Yun? I'm here, so why do I need Uncle Yun's help? It's just that you're not here, so I can't make decisions on many things. What's the problem with making decisions? In this cave, there are only the spiritual fruit trees and the 20 acres of spiritual fields outside that need you to take care of. You can decide what spiritual plants and spiritual medicines to plant. Plant what is easy to plant, and what is worth spiritual stones. I don't think I will be back for a short time this time. You have to take good care of the spiritual fields and spiritual fruit trees. By the way, I have to dig out a few spiritual fruit trees and bring them back to the family. A jasper peach tree, a red jade peach tree, and a yellow jade peach tree. I have to take the 5-element spiritual fruit tree back to Yunwu Mountain as well. When they grow bigger, it will be even harder to transplant them. Yun Yongzhu was chattering on about everything when Wang Yiming suddenly stopped and knelt down in front of him. Uncle Yun, speaking of this 5-element spirit fruit tree, I want to apologize to you. Yun Yongzhu waited for his words in confusion. This 5-element spirit fruit tree is a high-level spirit plant. I'm afraid that the way I take care of it is not right. After so many years, this fruit tree still looks the same as it did 10 years ago. There is no sign of growing up at all. He looked at Wang Yiming, who was feeling guilty and self-blaming, smiled, exerted his spiritual power, and forcibly helped him up. I thought it was a big deal. I have thought about this a long time ago. Before leaving the sect, I will find someone to solve this problem. You don't need to do this. Over the years, the 5-element spirit fruit trees have grown to at least 4 feet, and under your careful care, they are at least still alive and well. Wang Yiming is just a low-level spirit plant husband. Taking care of a second-level spirit plant is his limit. It was Yun Yongzhu himself who didn't think it through, which wasted a lot of time. Fortunately, although the 5-element spirit fruit tree did not continue to grow, it was full of vitality. Wang Yiming was relieved. Thank you, Uncle Yun. The two continued to walk slowly into the storehouse. Also, every year after you collect spiritual fruits, remember to send 10 of each to my second and third senior sisters. If my eldest senior brother comes back, don't forget to send him. Wang Yiming followed Yun Yongzhu and carefully wrote down his instructions. When they were almost done, the two entered the storehouse one after another. Yun Yongzhu's spiritual sense swept the jade boxes on the shelf inside, and there were only 300 left. These are the 300 spiritual fruits you want. Keep them for yourself. Wang Yiming happily put the remaining spiritual fruits into the storage bag, and then heard Yun Yongzhu tell her good news. You don't need to give me the spiritual stones for these spiritual fruits. Just put them in the account. After harvesting the spiritual fruits every year, if you still want them, you can also put them in the account, but the number you want cannot exceed 300. In Wang Yiming's hands, all the spiritual stones are accounted for. How many spiritual plant seeds and spiritual fertilizers were purchased, what accessories and utensils were added to the cave, and how much income was earned from selling spiritual rice, spiritual plants and spiritual medicines in the spiritual fields, etc. Everything must be recorded one by one. This is because Wang Yiming has been with him for 20 years, and he has the confidence. Otherwise, Yun Yongzhu would not dare to hand over such a large industry to an outsider. After leaving the warehouse, Yun Yongzhu told Wang Yiming to do his own things. He thought that the matter of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree should be dealt with sooner rather than later, so he went to the main hall of Lotus Peak. When he arrived at the main hall, he found senior brother Zhang Yumin. Junior brother Yun, do you want to buy any spiritual medicine? Zhang Yumin's attitude towards Yun Yongzhu has become more enthusiastic since he got 3 spirit gathering pills from Yun Yongzhu last time. No, senior brother Zhang, I'm here to post a task. I want to post a high-level spiritual plant husband task. High level spiritual plant husband. This level of spiritual plant husband is not so easy to find. It's not much different from the second level talisman maker, weapon refiner, and alchemist. Although there are many spiritual plant husbands in the sect, they are all low level spiritual plant husbands. High level spiritual plant husbands are very popular, and they take care of dozens or even hundreds of high level spiritual plants. Junior brother, their hiring fee is not low. You have to think it through. Senior brother Zhang, I didn't make it clear. I just have some problems with one of my high level spiritual plants, and I want to find a high level spiritual plant husband to solve it. It doesn't mean to hire a high level spiritual plant husband. Is that so? How many spirit stones will your reward be? Will it be posted only on Lotus Peak, or in all the mission halls of the sect? This task is rewarded with sect points, so it will be settled at 100 points, and posted in all the mission halls of the sect. Junior brother Yun, the fee for posting a task is as high as 200 spirit stones. Yun Yongzhu took out 200 spirit stones, and handed them to Zhang Yumin, signaling him to register the task. Look at my brain, how could you, Master ZHU, be short of spirit stones? You are a second level alchemist. Zhang Yumin took out a pen and paper, and wrote down the details of Yun Yongzhu's task. Junior brother Yun, what kind of high level spiritual plant is it? Can you tell me in detail? It is a 5-element spiritual fruit tree. It has been planted for many years. It has grown to more than 4 feet, but has stopped growing, but it has not withered. Senior brother Zhang, please record all this. I will allocate the reward to the other party after the problem of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree is solved. Junior brother Yun, okay, I will send you a message as soon as I have news. Just go back to Piomio Peak and wait. Yun Yongzhu asked about the 9 flame flower and the 10,000 fang grass again. I have collected 3 more 9 flame flowers and 5 1 fang grasses during this period of time. Take them, junior brother. Yun Yongzhu thought about it and realized that it was not very convenient for him to purchase spiritual objects in Yongzhou, so he said to Zhang Yumin, Senior brother Zhang, can you help me get another 500 monster essences, 200 first grade inferior ones, 150 first grade mid-grade ones, 140 first grade superior ones, and 10 second grade inferior ones, 20 kilograms of first grade superior spiritual honey, regardless of what kind of spiritual bees it is brewed from, or what kind of spiritual flowers it is. Then get me 4 huling fruits. I wonder if there are bone growing flowers and soul nourishing grass here in Lotus Peak. Zhang Yumin was shocked. He didn't expect Yun Yongzhu to want so many spiritual objects at once. Junior brother Yun, a second grade low quality monster essence costs 100 spirit stones. A first grade monster essence costs 40 spirit stones for a high quality one, 20 spirit stones for a mid quality one, and 10 spirit stones for a low quality one. For the spiritual honey, I'll give you the 100 flavors honey produced by Beihua Peak, which costs 10 spirit stones per pound. The price of the huling fruit is 140 spirit stones each, which adds up to a total of 12,360 spirit stones. As for the bone growing flower and soul nourishing grass, junior brother Yun, you should go to the main hall of Danlian Peak to ask. They are probably difficult to get. Even if you can exchange them with points, the cost is probably not low. Yun Yongzhu felt a little painful. He had just received the spirit stones for the sale of spiritual fruits and herbs, and they were all spent before he could even warm them up. Chapter 253 Spiritual Field and Medicinal Field. However, these spiritual objects are necessary for Yun Yongzhu himself, and the several spiritual insects in his hands to practice and advance. If they were in Yongzhou, it would be difficult to purchase them so easily. So even if more spiritual stones are needed, they still have to be spent. Fortunately, he has no shortage of spiritual stones now. Yun Yongzhu thought that the spiritual honey needed by the Zunling butterfly and the purple jade bee would have to be solved by themselves in the future. So he asked Zhang Yumin for 5 acres of spiritual flower seeds, intending to plant them outside the Yunwu mountain cave. These are the only things. Please prepare them for me, senior brother Zhang. Yun Yongzhu waited for a long time before Zhang Yumin prepared all the spiritual objects he needed. After counting them, he took out 12,410 spiritual stones and handed them to Zhang Yumin, and then gave him 180 sect points as hard work fees for 39 flame flowers and 5 Wanfang grasses, and then returned to Piomio Peak to wait for news. While waiting for the high-level spiritual plant master to come, Yun Yongzhu also asked Wang Yiming to go to Qingyuan Market to buy 4 sets of medicines needed to refine the Huling pill and 3 sets of medicines for the Muan pill. Only 2 days later, Zhang Yumin sent a message to Yun Yongzhu, saying that a high-level spiritual plant master at Lingyuan Peak had taken over his task and was waiting at Lionhua Peak. After receiving the letter, Yun Yongzhu hurried to Lionhua Peak to pick up the cultivator of the same level named Ju Yaozhu. Senior brother Zhang, where is senior brother Yi? Junior brother Yun, you are here so soon. Come with me to the side hall. Senior brother Yi is a high-level spiritual plant master who manages the spiritual medicine garden at Lingyuan Peak. I think he can help you solve the problem of the spiritual fruit tree. The two entered the side hall and saw a middle-aged cultivator in the middle stage of the foundation building period who noticed the two people coming in and stood up to greet them. Junior brother Zhang, this must be junior brother Yun, you are indeed a promising young man. Senior brother Yi, you are polite. After the two sides got to know each other for a while, Yu Yaozhu followed Yun Yongzhu to Piomio Peak. Senior brother Yi, please. Junior brother Yun, this place is really good, a blessed place. It is all thanks to master that junior brother can live in Piomio Peak. The two of them entered Yun Yongzhu's spiritual fruit garden in a moment. Junior brother Yun, you are generous, planting so many spiritual fruit trees. They are all low-level spiritual fruit trees, not worth mentioning. The 5-element spiritual fruit tree is in there. Please trouble senior brother Yi. Yu Yaozhu just saw the 5-element spiritual fruit tree and showed a surprised expression. Senior brother Yi, what's wrong? At this time, Wang Yiming entered the spiritual fruit garden and Yun Yongzhu introduced it by the way. Senior brother Yi, this is the spirit planter who usually helps me take care of the spirit fruit tree. If you have any questions, feel free to ask him. Hello, Senior Yi. Yu Yaozhu nodded and turned to the 5-element spirit fruit tree in the courtyard. He looked around the courtyard and asked Wang Yiming how he usually took care of it and when the spirit fruit tree was planted. Uncle Master Yi, I have not neglected these spiritual fruit trees. I have never lacked spiritual stones and spiritual fertilizers. I also provide spiritual rain every 7 days. You can't find fault with your care, but this only applies to ordinary first level medium and low grade spiritual fruit trees. The 5-element spiritual fruit tree is not an ordinary spiritual plant. Its grade is as high as the 3rd level upper grade. High level spiritual plants have unique requirements for the environment. He turned to Yun Yongzhu and said, I can't believe that you just planted the seeds of the 5-element spiritual fruit in the garden casually and let them grow so tall. You should know that generally spiritual plants and spiritual medicines above the 2nd level need to be planted in the medicine field. Uncle Master Yi, I have a question for you. Is the difference between the spiritual field and the medicine field really that big? Wang Yiming asked carefully, wanting to take the opportunity to learn from him. Yun Yongzhu was also very curious when he heard it. He never knew that there was a need to distinguish between spiritual fields and medicine fields. Thinking that he would open up a small medicine garden in the cave residence of Yunwu Mountain, he couldn't help but concentrate. The difference between the two is huge. Spiritual fields can be slowly cultivated on ordinary land without spiritual veins, but medicinal fields cannot. Spiritual fields mainly grow spiritual grains and some low-level spiritual plants with low requirements for spiritual power and environment. Medicinal fields are very different. They are generally planted with high-level spiritual plants with unique requirements for spiritual power and environment. I heard that junior brother Yun is an alchemist, so you should know that each kind of spiritual medicine has different medicinal properties and effects. The reason why spiritual medicines have different medicinal properties and effects is that their growth environments are different. For example, blue firefly grass likes to grow in swamps and depressions with abundant water attributes spiritual energy and does not like sunlight. Fire sungrass, firegrass, etc. can only survive in dry land with rich fire attributes spiritual energy. The tranquilizing flower grows in the poisonous swamp. Ice arrow grass can only survive on the cold ice field. Countless spiritual medicines can only grow in specific environments. Seriously speaking, this medicinal field is actually a special spiritual field, but a spiritual field is not a medicinal field. General medicine fields are transformed from spiritual fields. By arranging various environments on the spiritual fields and gathering spiritual energy of different attributes, they will become medicine fields. To maintain the operation of a medicine field, the consumption is not a small amount. The high-level spiritual plant husband surnamed Yi said a series of words to explain to the difference between spiritual fields and medicine fields. Brother Yi, from what you said, my spiritual fruit garden must be transformed into a medicine garden? That's not necessary. The 5-element spiritual fruit tree is a rare high-level spiritual plant with low environmental requirements. Brother Yun, you only need to dig it out, plant it in an open area, and then arrange a spirit gathering array. Although the yard of your spiritual fruit garden is large, it is still too small for the 5-element spiritual fruit tree. I'm afraid that the roots under the ground have long been entangled with other spiritual fruit trees. Yun Yongzhu was a little worried when he heard it. Brother Yi, what should we do? Brother Yun, don't worry. I will explain in detail after I have carefully investigated it. So Yun Yongzhu and Wang Yiming stood aside and watched this high-level spiritual plant cultivator walk to the side of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree and then cast a spell. Uncle Yun, the spell that Uncle Yi cast at this time should be the Wood Heart Sutra. I heard that after casting this spell, the cultivator can communicate with the spiritual plant and feel the abnormality of the spiritual plant. Is there such a magical spell? Of course, this is a high-level spiritual plant cultivator spell. After about half a quarter of an hour, the cultivator surnamedly put his hand down from the tree of the spiritual fruit tree and smiled and spoke. Brother Yun, don't worry. The situation is much better than I expected. Although this 5-element spiritual fruit tree is not far away from the other spiritual fruit trees, the roots underneath are not entangled yet. However, in another 3 to 5 years, these roots will be fused together and difficult to separate. It will be difficult to deal with then. Chapter 254 Departure to Yunwu Mountain. Then Senior Brother Yi, after digging them all out, do I need to prepare spiritual water such as rooting water? Yu Yongzhu looked surprised. Junior Brother Yun also knows about rooting water. It seems that you have worked hard on spiritual plants. However, after my investigation, I found that Junior Brother Yun's 5-element spiritual fruit tree is full of vitality. As long as it is dug out and replanted immediately, it does not need to be watered with rooting water again. It's just that it was transplanted once before, so I knew about spiritual water such as rooting water. Yu Yongzhu looked enlightened. So it was transplanted before. No wonder the roots of the spiritual fruit tree under the spiritual soil are not entangled as expected. Then if this tree is dug out for more than a month and then planted again, can it survive? Yun Yongzhu just wanted to transplant this 5-element spiritual fruit tree back to the family in Yunwu Mountain. Since it was going to be dug out, it would be better to bring it back to the family and plant it again. The 5-element spiritual fruit tree is at least a 3rd grade, top grade spiritual plant. With the vitality contained in this spiritual fruit tree, it should be no problem to dig it out in a month. It's just that, after digging it out, its roots must be wrapped in a thick layer of spiritual soil, and it must be watered with thorough rain every 5 or 6 days. To be on the safe side, I suggest that Junior Brother Yun replant it, and then water it with rooting water. Then how long will it take for this spiritual fruit tree to bear 5-element spiritual fruit after it is replanted? So many years have passed. Junior Brother Yun, you're joking. I just said that the 5-element spiritual fruit tree is a 3rd grade, top grade spiritual plant. Do you think it's the same as these low-level spiritual fruit trees in the courtyard, growing in just a dozen or dozens of years? If it were that simple, there wouldn't be only 25-element spiritual fruit trees in the sect. To be honest, in the spiritual medicine garden that I look after, there is a 1,000-year-old 5-element spiritual fruit tree. That spiritual fruit tree took nearly 300 years to produce the first tree of 5-element spiritual fruit. Junior Brother Yun, you have taken good care of this spiritual fruit tree. In addition, it is on the 2nd level upper grade spiritual vein. It is estimated that in another 170 or 80 years, it should be able to bloom. Yun Yongzhu had nothing else to ask. After finding out the depth of the replanting of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree, he allocated the 100 sect points he promised to this Yun Yongzhu. He felt in his heart that it was really easy for this high-level spiritual plant husband to earn spiritual stone points. He earned 100 sect points in just a few words. Senior brother Yi, if I do as you said, and my 5-element spiritual fruit tree doesn't change, then I will hold you responsible. Junior brother Yun, don't worry. Yi works in the spiritual medicine garden of Lingan Peak. As long as there is any problem with the 5-element spiritual fruit, you can go to Lingan Peak to find me. He then took out a jade slip and handed it to Yun Yongzhu. Junior brother Yun, here are some key points and experiences about planting 5-element spiritual fruit trees that I have prepared long ago. It also records the approximate effects of 5-element spiritual fruits of various sages. After that, Yun Yongzhu also suggested that Yun Yongzhu transplant half of the spiritual fruit trees in the spiritual fruit garden. Junior brother Yun, it is best to move out half of the other spiritual fruit trees in your spiritual fruit garden. Although they are still far apart at this time, they will grow bigger and bigger as time goes by. At that time, it will be difficult to move them. You can only cut down some of them to leave space for the spiritual fruit trees to grow and absorb spiritual energy. The two had a good chat. Yun Yongzhu personally sent Yun Yongzhu out of the cave and then said to Wang Yiming, you just heard it. After I dig out the 5-element spiritual fruit trees, you will dig out all the spiritual fruit trees that have just harvested spiritual fruits and plant them one by one in other places in the cave. It's just transplanting low-level spiritual fruit trees. Yun Yongzhu believes that Wang Yiming can handle it with his ability. Then he went to the Lotus Peak Hall again and bought a bottle of Dingjin water and several spiritual seeds of medium and high level spiritual medicines that he had asked Yun Yongzhu about. This Dingjin water was really not cheap. Just 5 kilograms of second level Dingjin water condensed from spiritual rainwater cost him 200 spiritual stones. The seeds of medium and high level spiritual medicines were not cheap either. Yun Yongzhu only purchased 10 sesame-sized seeds of Jiuan flower, Wanfang grass, Xian ginseng, scrofularia, and fire-tooth grass, and spent 200 spiritual stones. On average, one seed is worth 20 spiritual stones. However, after buying the seeds, he had very little savings left, only 29 spiritual stones. Yun Yongzhu simply sold all the remaining 20 low-grade gelling pills in his storage bag, because the sect had been purchasing spiritual medicines in pills of various grades for a long time. After being identified by professionals, Yun Yongzhu's pills were all purchased by the sect at the market price of 160 spiritual stones each. After receiving 3,200 spirit stones, Yun Yongzhu returned to the Loan Hall of Piomio Peak and thought about what else he had not done. After half a day, he called Wang Yiming and several errant disciples and went into the spirit fruit garden together. Wang Yiming, you guys dig out these 3 spirit peach trees for me, be careful. After Yun Yongzhu ordered several people to dig out the spirit fruit trees, he left the cave and rushed to Danlian Peak. He wanted to find out about the news of the bone growing grass and the soul nourishing grass to see if he could exchange them directly there. He entered the main hall of Danlian Peak and directly found a deacon disciple. Brother, can I exchange for bone growing grass and soul nourishing grass here? Brother, are you kidding? Bone growing grass and soul nourishing grass are such precious spiritual medicines. How can they be exchanged at will? If you really want them, go to the mission hall and take on a few medium and high level missions. After completing them, you will naturally be eligible to exchange for bone growing grass and soul nourishing grass. Yun Yongzhu was a little disappointed when he heard this. With his cultivation just at the foundation building stage, even if his spiritual power and consciousness far exceeded those of the same level cultivators, he was not able to take on medium and high level sect missions. The difficulty of these missions is all difficult and dangerous. If you are not careful, you will lose your life. Even if there is no danger, it should take a lot of time. Can I exchange for the recipe of the soul feeding pill? That's right. The soul feeding pill is just a first level pill that helps monsters and spirit beasts grow and advance. As long as you are a disciple and have a first level upper grade alchemist identity card, you can exchange it. Yun Yongzhu then took out his identity jade card and alchemist token. Seeing Yun Yongzhu's purple identity jade card, the other party became much more polite, and the smile on his face became more sincere. Junior brother Yun, you only need to pay 100 sect points to exchange for the recipe of the soul feeding pill. Yun Yongzhu stretched out his hand to signal the other party to hand him the jade card for collecting points in the hall, and then transferred 100 points into it. After a while, the deacon disciple respectfully handed him a jade slip with both hands. Junior brother Yun, the recipe of the soul feeding pill you asked for. After that, Yun Yongzhu hurried back to Piomio Peak. Not long after he returned to Loyun Hall, the 3 first-level soul fruit trees in the soul fruit garden were all dug out. Yun Yongzhu looked at the roots of the soul fruit trees wrapped in soul soil into a big ball, and nodded with satisfaction. Wan Yiming, you continue to dig out the 5-element soul fruit tree. Be careful not to damage its branches and roots. After that, Yun Yongzhu waited in the soul fruit garden, looking up from time to time to check the progress. Before sunset, the group finally dug out all the 5-element spiritual fruit trees, and their roots were all covered with thick spiritual soil. After instructing the other errand disciples to leave, Yun Yongzhu put the 5-element spiritual fruit trees into his storage bag, explained the follow-up matters to Wan Yiming, and set off overnight to return to Yunzhou. Chapter 255, Purple Jade Bee transforms into a bee. Yun Yongzhu controlled the willow shuttle to fly quickly and steadily toward the north, while he focused a little on his waist. There were 3 exquisite small bags hanging on his waist, one of which was a first-grade storage bag that he usually used to store items, and the other 2 were first-grade spirit beast bags. One spirit beast bag contained a soul-seeking butterfly and a soul-devouring golden cicada, and the other spirit beast bag contained a purple jade bee and a thunder eagle egg. These 2 spirit beast bags originally contained one soul-seeking butterfly and one soul-devouring golden cicada. After the purple jade bee and thunder eagle eggs were auctioned at Xianyuan City, Yun Yongzhu put the soul-seeking butterfly and the soul-devouring golden cicada into the same spirit beast bag. With their physiques, even if there were 10 or 8 of them, they could fit. The main reason was that Yun Yongzhu dared to put them together because they were familiar with each other. The purple jade bee had just hatched not long ago, and its attack power was not high, so Yun Yongzhu put it and the thunder eagle eggs into the same spirit beast bag. As for the thunder eagle eggs, Yun Yongzhu had already planned to return to the clan, and he was unsure about the time to hatch the thunder eagle eggs, so he did not hatch them after returning to the sect, and planned to hatch them slowly after returning to the clan. Yun Yongzhu is now a little worried about the purple jade bee. The purple jade bee has grown from the size of a thumb to the size of a baby's fist, like a bloated balloon in the past 2 days, and it looks like it is about to grow membrane wings. He separated a trace of his spiritual consciousness and probed into a spirit beast bag, only to see a flesh worm and a beast egg with purple spiritual light in the spacious space. The flesh worm is a purple jade bee. It did not fall into a deep sleep like usual, but was twisting and wriggling its fat body. It is indeed about to turn into a bee. Yun Yongzhu took out the jade box for hatching the purple jade bee from the storage bag, and then let Xiaozi out. As soon as the purple jade bee came out of the spirit beast bag, it eagerly expressed its desire to Yun Yongzhu. Yun Yongzhu has been paying attention to it, so he naturally understood its needs. He took out the royal jelly again, scooped a large spoonful, and handed it to the mouthparts of the purple jade bee. The purple jade bee ate the royal jelly in big mouthfuls, and then began to twist violently again. Just as Xiaozi was squirming, Yun Yongzhu found a tiny crack on its head, and his heart was immediately lifted. However, he saw that the purple jade bee was still fine, and did not ask him for help, so he put his heart at ease. The crack was only half a centimeter long at first. With Xiaozi's repeated and violent swings, the crack became larger and larger, reaching more than 3 centimeters, and the entire head of the lava was cracked. As the crack became larger and larger, Yun Yongzhu discovered that there was a deeper purple in the crack. He realized that the process of the purple jade bee transforming into a bee was similar to that of the soul-eating golden cicada and the soul-seeking butterfly. Yun Yongzhu originally thought that the purple jade bee transformed into a bee by directly growing other limbs on its body, and was worried that the purple jade bee larvae would be injured in the head. Soon, the head of the purple jade bee popped out of its shell, revealing two dark purple antennae. Yun Yongzhu looked at Xiaozi's reckless movements and was really worried about it, wondering if it would break its antennae. Xiaozi climbed out of its shell in one go, and its appearance changed drastically, from cute to ferocious. The purple jade bee's originally integrated, chubby little body was divided into 3 parts, including the head, chest, and abdomen. The biggest change was that a pair of large purple-colored carapace compound eyes grew on its head, and fine, dense lavender hairs grew on its previously smooth skin. 2 pairs of nearly transparent membrane wings grew on its chest and back, and 3 pairs of 6 hairy legs grew under its chest. Its abdomen occupied half of its entire body and was bulging. Chapter 256 Arrival at Yunwu Mountain. The purple jade bee lay quietly in the jade box, and the 2 pairs of membranous wings on its back stretched out. Gradually, the membranous wings became hard, and it tried to flap them. Then its wings carried the purple jade bee into the air, and the purple jade bee immediately became self-taught, and became very fast, shuttling back and forth in the willow shuttle. Yun Yongzhu was amazed. This purple jade bee looked only the size of a fist, but its speed was indeed not to be underestimated. Now it was only a first level intermediate product, but its speed was comparable to the speed of a key training monk who had mastered the cloud soaring technique. The purple jade bee circled Yun Yongzhu for more than a dozen times, and finally had enough fun, and returned to the jade box in Yun Yongzhu's palm, lying quietly. Yun Yongzhu glanced at it, put it back into the spirit beast bag, and put the jade box away, looking forward to Xiaozi's honey making skills. Because he had a few spirit fruit trees in his hand that needed to be taken back to Yunwu Mountain as soon as possible to replant, Yun Yongzhu did not dare to delay for a moment and traveled day and night along the way, as fast as lightning. On the way, Yun Yongzhu soaked the spiritual soil at the root of the spiritual fruit tree with water for a short time every 5 days, and spent the rest of the time controlling the willow leaf shuttle with all his strength, and kept on going. With Yun Yongzhu's unremitting efforts, it only took him 30 days to enter the Yuncao boundary. He calculated the time and knew that he would be able to return to the gate of Yunwu Mountain in half a day, so he sent a second-level lower-grade communication talisman, explaining that he had brought back the spiritual fruit tree, and asked the clan members to first select the spiritual land for planting the spiritual fruit tree and dig it out. Sure enough, after only half a day, Yunwu Mountain was in sight. He flew directly to the top of Yunwu Mountain and landed outside his cave. There were 5 people standing outside Yun Yongzhu's cave. In addition to the other 4 foundation building cultivators in the family, there was the clan leader Yun Shicheng. Greetings, elders. Xiaojiu, stop being so polite. How is the spiritual fruit tree? Is it damaged? Don't ask now. Let's go to the spiritual medicine garden and tell us in detail. Yun Zuxan and Yun Zuxan said one after another, and Yun Daichen, Yang Liu and the clan leader also nodded repeatedly. The fact that Yun Yongzhu planted a 3rd grade top grade 5 element spiritual fruit tree in the sect was known to only a few people in the foundation building period in the entire Yun family. Even Yun Daichen and his wife only learned about it after they went to Qingshan sect to build their foundation last time. Now there are 2 more people in the family who know about this. One is the clan leader Yun Shicheng, and the other is naturally the 8th elder Yun Shiyuan who takes care of the spiritual medicine garden. 2 great-grandfathers. Don't worry. I have taken good care of the spiritual fruit trees along the way. I think they are still quite vigorous and there is no big problem. Yun Yongzhu followed the elders to the family's spiritual medicine garden and comforted them. Hearing Yun Yongzhu say this, the solemn expressions on Yun Zuxan and others' faces relaxed a lot. We said before that, since it has been planted in the sect, it is okay to leave it in your cave, so as to avoid tossing it. It is even more unprofitable to toss this precious 5-element spiritual fruit tree to death. It's okay. I have already consulted the high-level spiritual planter in the sect, and I just want to dig it out. I think it is safer to plant such a precious spiritual fruit tree in the family. About a quarter of an hour later, the 6 people arrived at the place with the most concentrated spiritual energy on Yunwu Mountain. Yun Yongzhu was in the air and could see a large spiritual medicine garden below. Outside the spiritual medicine garden was a visible spiritual barrier. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257, Transplanting the 5-Element Spiritual Fruit Tree. Yun Shichen took out a jade token and handed it to Yun Yongzhu, signaling Yun Yongzhu to follow them into the spiritual medicine garden. Yun Yongzhu tied the jade token on his left waist and then followed the others. He had just passed through the spiritual power barrier when he felt a pure and rich spiritual energy coming towards him. Yun Yongzhu almost thought he was back in Piomio Peak, his master's Piomio residence. He took a deep breath and said to the others, "I didn't expect that there is such a blessed place in our Yunwu mountain." Xiaojiu, the family of this spiritual medicine garden, spent a lot of money to set up a 3rd level lower grade spirit gathering array. How could it not be effective? So that's it. Yun Yongzhu nodded. After rushing all the way, the few people arrived at an open place with rich spiritual power in less than a quarter of an hour. A large pit more than 4 feet deep had been dug on the ground, and an old man was waiting not far away. Meet the 8th grandfather. Yun Yongzhu knew this old man. This man was the 8th elder Yun Xiuyuan, who was in charge of all the spiritual fields and all the spiritual medicine gardens of the family. Xiaojiu, you really surprised me. Take out the 5-element spiritual fruit tree quickly. This hole is dug according to the size you said. It should be usable, right? If not, dig it deeper. 8th grandpa, the spiritual fruit tree is here. Look at the size of this tree. Do you think it is suitable to plant it there? Yun Yongzhu felt that, although this 8th grandfather was not a high-level spiritual plant husband, he had managed the 3 spiritual medicine gardens of the family for many years, and should have accumulated a lot of experience. He had a better say in the transplantation of spiritual fruit trees. As he said that, he took the 5-element spiritual fruit tree out of the storage bag. The spiritual soil at the root of the spiritual fruit tree was still moist, and it was obviously just watered. Yun Xiuyuan saw the 5-element spiritual fruit tree and hurried forward to check it. There was no Yun Zuxuan and others in his eyes. Xiaojiu, you have protected this spiritual fruit tree very well. It is still full of vitality. After praising the younger generation, Yun Xiuyuan picked up the shovel and hoe next to him to tidy up the dug hole. Others could not help, so they just watched quietly. It didn't take much effort, just digging the original pit a little deeper and widening it a little. After the pit was tidied, Yun Xiuyuan threw away the tools in his hand, walked to the spiritual fruit tree, and said to Yun Yongzhu, "Come on, Xiaojiu, come with me to move the sapling over and plant it quickly." Yun Yongzhu did as Yun Xiuyuan said, and carefully lifted the small tree lying on the ground with him. The roots of the tree slowly moved towards the tidied pit, and soon the tree stood in the center of the pit. Xiaojiu, I'll fill the soil in, you hold it steady. At this time, Yun Daichen and his wife, Yun Shichen, and others who were standing aside found something they could do, and hurried over to help. Yang Liu and her son held the spiritual fruit tree together, and everyone else took out tools to fill the tree pit with soil. This was still a delicate job. After filling the soil for a while, Yun Xiuyuan called for a stop. After stomping the soil firmly, he took out a bottle of something from the storage bag and poured it at the roots of the tree, and then asked everyone to continue filling the soil. "Grandpa Bei, what did you just pour?" Good stuff that can increase the survival rate of spiritual plants." After repeating the soil filling 3 times, the transplantation of the spiritual fruit tree was basically completed. This 5-element spiritual fruit tree is really good. It is growing really well. The survival rate should be very high. After filling the spiritual soil, Yun Xiuyuan also performed a gathering spirits and turning rain art to water the entire 5-element spiritual fruit tree thoroughly. Yun Yongzhu took out the rooting water and walked to Yun Xiuyuan's side. "Grandpa Bei, the child specially prepared a bottle of 2nd level high quality rooting water in the sect. Do you see it? You kid, you have such a good thing and you didn't take it out earlier." Yun Xiuyuan took the rooting water from Yun Yongzhu's hand, walked to the 5-element spiritual fruit tree, and carefully sprinkled the rooting water around. This way it will be foolproof. Hearing Yun Xiuyuan's words, everyone was also very happy. Yun Yongzhu looked at the tree that was watered thoroughly and asked, "Old date, has this 5-element spiritual fruit tree been transplanted?" Uncle Jiu, with Zhao Jiu's 2nd grade upper grade root fixing water, this 5-element spiritual fruit tree will definitely survive. It is estimated that in another 180 or 190 years, it will be able to bloom and bear fruit. Yun Yongzhu's tone was a little excited. He knew clearly that with this 5-element spiritual fruit tree, as long as there was no major change, their Yun family in Yunwu Mountain would be able to prosper forever. As an experienced spiritual plant master, he was not only proficient in planting, but also had a deep understanding of the role of spiritual plants. He was still in the exploratory stage of planting the 5-element spiritual fruit tree and did not have much experience, but in recent years he had studied the role of the 5-element spiritual fruit in depth. This kind of spiritual fruit can be directly equated with the cultivation of the cultivator, and there is no future trouble. The only regret is that the fruiting period of this spiritual fruit is too long and the number of fruits is scarce. According to his inquiries and investigations from various sources, a 5-element spiritual fruit tree can only produce a maximum of 20 fruits, and that is under the premise of being well cared for. But even so, a grown 5-element spiritual fruit tree is a priceless treasure for the family. This 5-element spiritual fruit tree is one of the family's future heritage, which can prevent the family from being extinct. Yun Yongzhu thought of his lifespan. He would never see the scene of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree bearing fruit. He couldn't help feeling a little regretful and sad. But even if he couldn't see it, he could expect it, and he felt a little comforted in his heart. That's good. It's good that it can survive. Old date, you should take care of this spiritual fruit tree more on weekdays. You don't need to ask me specifically, Uncle 25. I will take care of it every day to see how it adapts. After transplanting Yun Yongzhu's precious 5-element spiritual fruit tree, the clan leader remembered a 5-element spiritual fruit seed that he had given to Yun Yongzhu a few years ago and asked about the condition of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree with concern. After all, the spiritual stones allocated to the spiritual medicine garden have increased year by year in recent years, and he has not seen the results with his own eyes. Planting a 5-element spiritual fruit tree is too expensive, and there is no experience in planting. After considering many aspects, the clan discussed cultivating one first. Yun Yongzhu was also curious when he heard about this. "Why don't you come with us to take a look, Zhao Jiu?" "Okay, 8th grandpa. Then let's go and take a look." It seems to have been 7 or 8 years. I wonder what it looks like now. Everyone followed Yun Yongzhu and went in another direction. This place is not like the place where Yun Yongzhu's 5-element spiritual fruit tree was planted. There was nothing around. After Yun Yongzhu got the 5-element spiritual fruit seeds from the clan leader, he specially cleaned up a piece of land with abundant spiritual energy and built a circle of simple fences to surround it. Half a quarter of an hour later, after passing through a spiritual medicine field, several people saw the small sapling of only about 1.5 feet in the fence. It's been more than 7 years, and this 5-element spiritual fruit tree is still so short. Yun Yongzhu was not surprised. Although he didn't take care of his spiritual fruit tree all the time, he knew roughly that the 5-element spiritual fruit tree grew very slowly. "Uncle Jiu, you don't know that this 5-element spiritual fruit tree is a 3rd grade high quality spiritual plant. It grows slowly and only grows 2 or 3 inches a year at most. We don't understand these things either. Anyway, we'll leave it to you. There are 2 5-element spiritual fruit trees in the spiritual medicine garden now. I wonder if you can take care of them. Do you need to arrange more people?" Uncle 25, Junior and Binga have been with me for many years. They are both capable. The other 2 spiritual medicine gardens are planted with spiritual medicines of slightly lower value. I will arrange for them to take care of 1 spiritual medicine garden each. I will take care of this spiritual medicine garden exclusively and occasionally go to other places for inspection. In this way, I will have enough time and energy to take care of these 2 precious 5-element spiritual fruit trees. The Junior and Binga you are talking about are Zhao Liu and Zhao Shiki, right? That's them. Just make your own plans. Just arrange it according to your ideas. While chatting about the topic of the 5-element spiritual fruit trees, the few of them strolled around the spiritual medicine garden. After strolling for a while, the group returned to the place where Yun Yongzhu's 5-element spiritual fruit trees were transplanted. At this time, more than 2 hours had passed, and it was already possible to see whether the spiritual fruit tree had re-rooted. Yun Yongzhu walked to the side of the tree, placed his hand on it, and closed his eyes to sense it. After a while, he opened his eyes and showed joy. Uncle 9, Uncle 25, second brother, the roots of this 5-element spiritual fruit tree have stretched out, and it is about to re-root. Moreover, the vitality has not been lost too much, and it is estimated that it will recover in a month. Hearing him say this, everyone smiled at each other, and was very happy. In fact, many cultivators and even casual cultivators have heard of the name of the 5-element spiritual fruit. It is rumored that when a cultivator eats the 5-element spiritual fruit, it is like taking a panacea, and it can even help people build a foundation on the spot. Although the truth is not as exaggerated as the rumors, the effect is also very amazing. It is because of this that Yun Yongzhu tried to find the seeds of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree and spent a lot of money to cultivate and plant it. He did not expect that just asking someone casually would have the seeds of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree. Of course, Yun Yongzhu did not make the decision to cultivate this spiritual fruit tree blindly. After receiving the news of the seeds of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree, he still inquired and checked it carefully. Whether it was the words of his fellow disciples or the records in the sect's classics, they all said that the effect of the 5-element spiritual fruit was stronger than the key gathering pill. The older the age, the greater its effect, and it could even be comparable to the key gathering pill taken by foundation building cultivators. Moreover, the jade slip that Yun Yongzhu got from Yun Yongzhu, a high-level spiritual plant husband, not long ago also described the effect of the 5-element spiritual fruit in this way. After all, practicing alchemy is not a simple matter, but if the cultivation of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree is effective, it is equivalent to having an alchemist with a long lifespan and a rare and single pill for a family. Unfortunately, the cultivation of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree is really time consuming, and the time it takes to bloom and bear fruit is also very long. In addition, the number of fruits is limited. If you want the 5-element spiritual fruit to be more effective, you have to leave the spiritual fruit on the tree for many years. Yun Yongzhu looked at the 5-element spiritual fruit tree beside Yun Yongzhu, which was filled with spiritual energy, and suddenly remembered the jade slip that Yun Yongzhu had given him. So he took it out, quickly burned a copy, and presented it to Yun Yongzhu with both hands. 8th Grandpa, this was given to me by a high-level spiritual plant master in the sect. I'm giving it to you. Thank you. Since the 5-element spiritual fruit tree has successfully taken root in the spiritual medicine garden, Yun Yongzhu and others can rest assured to leave the spiritual medicine garden and return to their own caves. After Yun Yongzhu, and Yun Shicheng left, Yun Yongzhu declined his parents' invitation, saying that he had things to do. Chapter 258 Spiritual Fruit Tree. Mom and Dad, this time when I came back, in addition to the 5-element spiritual fruit tree, I also brought back 3 first-level low-grade spiritual peach trees. Yun Yongzhu said as he released the yellow jade peach tree, the red jade peach tree, and the jasper peach tree. The 3 kinds of spiritual peach trees that I brought back are all here. This one is a red jade peach tree, this one is a yellow jade peach tree, and the remaining one is a jasper peach tree. Mom and Dad, pick one and bring it back to the mansion to plant it. We will have spiritual peaches to eat every year in the future. My son is thoughtful. Lila, you decide which one to choose. My Zua is really filial. Yang Lila wanted to pinch Yun Yongzhu's cheek, but he dodged her. Mom, don't pinch my face like you did when we were little. Zua is no longer fun when he grows up, so I won't pinch him. Yang Lila gave up with regret and then casually put the yellow jade peach tree on the ground into the storage bag. I have only eaten red jade peaches before and have never seen yellow jade peach trees or jasper peach trees. Let's take advantage of Zua and accept this yellow jade peach tree. Yun Yongzhu suddenly remembered that he had brought back many spiritual fruits and quickly took out another 30 wooden boxes. Dad and Mom, these are the spiritual fruits I picked in the sect not long ago. There are spiritual peaches, spiritual dates and spiritual grapefruits in them. You keep them, and I will send some to the 8th grandfather." Then Yun Yongzhu turned back and entered the spiritual medicine garden and sent 15 spiritual fruits to the 8th elder Yun Xian. Not long after, he left the spiritual medicine garden. Yun Daichen and Yang Liu were still waiting outside. When they saw Yun Yongzhu coming out, they asked him to send some to the 2 great-grandfathers. "Dad and Mom, you go back and plant the yellow jade peach tree first. I'll go back and plant the other 2 spiritual fruit trees, and then I'll go to the elders and give them spiritual fruits one by one." "That's good. The spiritual peach tree can't be delayed. You go back to the mansion." After Yun Yongzhu separated from his father and mother, he returned to his newly built cave in a few minutes. He went straight to the bamboo garden where he lived. Yun Yongzhu had already thought about how to place the 2 spiritual peach trees. When building the cave, Yun Yongzhu specially reserved a large open space in the yard, just to plant 3 or 5 spiritual fruit trees in the yard. He entered the bamboo garden and chose a place next to the pavilion built by Kingston Bamboo in the open space in the yard to plant the jasper peach tree. Then he dug a large pit more than 3 feet deep beside the pond and transplanted the red jade peach tree. After the 2 spiritual peach trees were planted, Yun Yongzhu used the object control technique on the pond to move the pond water to the location where the 2 trees were planted, watering them thoroughly so that their roots and soil fit closely. Looking at the 2 spiritual peach trees standing in the yard, Yun Yongzhu was very satisfied. There is actually a lot of space in this yard. He plans to go back to the sect in a few years to transplant some spiritual fruit trees. After thinking about it, Yun Yongzhu's hand brushed across the spiritual beast bag and released the purple jade bee, the soul-eating golden cicada, and the soul-seeking butterfly. As soon as Xiaojin and Wu Kei came out, they found a strange life circling around Xiaozi. "Wu Kei, Xiaojin, this is Xiaozi, your new partner. You can't bully it. You just play in the cave by yourself. You can't go out, understand?" Feeling the emotions conveyed by the 3 spiritual insects, Yun Yongzhu nodded and ignored them. Since the spiritual fruit tree has been planted, Yun Yongzhu plans to send the spiritual fruits he brought back to the family to the elders one by one. With Yun Yongzhu's current cultivation and his position in the family, the only people who needed him to personally deliver spiritual fruits were Yun Zuxuan and Yun Zuxun, the 2 most senior elders. He went to the caves of the 2 great-grandfathers respectively, and delivered 15 spiritual fruits to each of them, 2 of each spiritual peach, 4 of each spiritual date, and 1 spiritual pomelo. The 2 great-grandfathers were very happy to know that Yun Yongzhu wanted to stay in the family for a long time. They told him to arrange his cultivation time reasonably, and asked him to take care of family affairs. After coming out of the caves of the 2 great-grandfathers, Yun Yongzhu ran to the clan leader Yun Shicheng. First, to give him a spiritual fruit, and second, to send 400 spiritual dates to all ordinary members of the family. Each person can receive 2 spiritual dates with the Yun family's identity card. "Xiaojiu, how many spiritual fruit trees have you planted? How come there are so many spiritual dates?" "Second grandpa, I have planted a total of 51 spiritual fruit trees in the sect, and one of them is the 5-element spiritual fruit tree. These spiritual fruits are all first-grade low-grade spiritual fruits that mature once a year. There are a total of 27 spiritual fruit trees of 6 kinds, 15 spiritual peach trees, 8 spiritual date trees, and 4 spiritual pomelo trees. These 27 spiritual fruit trees have harvested a total of more than 10,000 spiritual fruits, among which the spiritual dates are the most numerous. I sold most of them before returning, and brought some back for the tribesmen to taste. Oh, this spiritual fruit tree is so productive. How much is the profit?" "The spiritual fruit trees I planted are of quite a few varieties, and the prices are different. If all the spiritual fruits produced by these 27 spiritual fruit trees are sold, it is conservatively estimated that the annual profit should be 2,100 spiritual stones." Yun Shicheng's eyes lit up after hearing this. This is a way to make money. Yun Yongzhu saw the change in the clan leader's heart and couldn't help but say, "Second grandfather, the spiritual fruit trees that I planted are all planted on the 2nd level upper grade spiritual veins. Each spiritual fruit tree costs about 24 spiritual stones every year. The most important thing is that spiritual fruit trees need time to grow. It took more than 15 years for my 27 first level lower grade spiritual fruit trees to bear fruit for the first time. This year is the first time to harvest spiritual fruit. It will take about 4 or 5 years to get back the investment. After that, it will be net profit. If there are no accidents, these spiritual fruit trees can continue to grow for 200 or 300 years. In fact, it's not that no one in their clan planted spiritual fruit trees. The spiritual peaches that Yun Yongzhu ate when he was a child were obtained by his parents from his 6th uncle in the clan. It's just that his 6th uncle Yun Yongzhu only planted one tree, and there was no obvious effect. 2nd grandfather, besides 8th grandfather, 6th uncle and 17th aunt, have any other clan members practiced the gathering spirits and transforming rain? The spirit fruit trees also need to be watered with spirit rain water frequently, otherwise the time for bearing spirit fruit will be delayed for a long time, and the yield will also be affected. This is not a big problem. There should be a dozen people in the clan who know this spell. Even if they don't know the gathering spirits and transforming rain, they can just water them with spring water. It's just that the cost is a bit high, and the spirit fruit trees take too long to grow. A spirit fruit tree costs 24 spirit stones per year, which may not seem like a lot, but in 15 years that's 360 spirit stones. If there are more spirit fruit trees, the cost will be even higher. 2nd grandfather, what you said is wrong. As the saying goes, the predecessors plant trees and the descendants enjoy the shade. We are the so-called predecessors. Take the 5-element spiritual fruit tree I brought back. I'm afraid that I can't use it myself. Even the Chang and Fan generations have no chance to see it. It may take the Crossing and Sheng generations to bloom and bear fruit. How could I not know what you said, Xiaojiu? It's been too long since the family has expanded new sources of income. I, your 2nd grandfather, am a little petty. Now, the family has only added 2 new sources of income, spiritual fruit wine and elixir. The formula of spiritual fruit wine was obtained by Yun Yongzhu by accident. The family did not spend a single spiritual stone, but only rewarded the family contribution points. There is no need to mention elixir, which is a good business with a huge return. However, these 2 sources of income have their own limitations. Although the profits are high, they cannot be made bigger and stronger in a short period of time. 2nd grandfather, this matter still needs to be discussed with the elders before making a final decision. There is no rush. Well, I know that. Chapter 259 Spiritual Fruit Distribution. Then 2nd grandfather, I will go back to the cave first. He also had to arrange for someone to send spiritual fruits to other elders. Xiaojiu, just now Uncle 9 and Uncle 25th send me a message saying that they want you to participate in clan affairs and gain more experience. Does this mean that you plan to stay in the family to practice? Well, if nothing unexpected happens, the next time I return to the sect should be 2 years later. 2nd grandfather, if you have anything to do, just send me a message, and I will come whenever you call. Yun Shichen showed a happy face. As long as Yun Yongzhu stayed in Yunwu Mountain, the family would not lack elixirs, and the elixir business would be better. After saying goodbye to the clan leader, Yun Yongzhu returned to his cave. He sent communication talismans to his brothers respectively, and then sat in the Kingsin bamboo pavilion and leisurely brewed a pot of Wangayu bitter tea for himself. Yun Yongzhu drank tea while comprehending the recipe of the soul-feeding pill. Speaking of which, he has purchased many soul-feeding pills over the years, but has never exchanged for this recipe. The effect of Kingsin bamboo is really extraordinary. Yun Yongzhu felt peaceful when he sat in it, and it was much easier for him to comprehend the recipe. More than an hour later, Yun Yongzhu's brothers finally came to Yun Yongzhu's cave one after another. Brother, you are back. It has only been half a year. Juana, you are here so soon. Sit down and have a cup of spiritual tea. Do you mean you don't want your brother to come back? How could that be? I'm looking forward to your brother's return. As he spoke, Yun Yongzhu felt the movement of the cave's barrier and knew that another brother had come up, so he pinched a spell in his hand and cast it out, temporarily retracting the forbidden barrier. About a quarter of an hour later, Yun Yongbei entered the bamboo garden. Second brother, we are here. Big brother. Third brother. Bear, I haven't seen you for half a year. You have matured a lot. Big brother, you are still talking. You didn't even tell us in advance that our parents had built their foundation. Haha, now you all know it. Where are you living now? Before the two brothers answered Yun Yongzhu's question, there was another movement outside the cave. It must be the twins going up the mountain. A quarter of an hour later, two identical young men entered the bamboo garden side by side. As soon as they entered the courtyard, they shouted and ran towards Yun Yongzhu. Big brother, you are back. Yun Yongzhu looked at the posture of the two and made a gesture. Stop it, you are almost 16 years old, why are you still so unstable? Seeing that his words did not work, he had to use his spiritual power to control Yun Yonggan and Yun Yongkang. Big brother, let me go. Yun Yongzhu loosened the spiritual power restraints on the twins. The two immediately hugged Yun Yongzhu's arms. Brother, why did you take so long to go to the sect? Brother, what's the matter with you calling us up? It's only half a year. I will stay in Yunwu Mountain to practice for the next 2 years. Really? Great. Really? Is this true? Seeing the surprised expressions of his four brothers, Yun Yongzhu smiled and nodded. I'm not a jokester. Of course it's true. Yun Yongbei and the other three were very happy. The five brothers gathered in the bamboo garden and talked. After a long while, Yun Yongzhu talked about the business of calling the four of them up the mountain. I called you here this time. First, to tell you the news of my return. Second, to let you go up the mountain, to recognize my brother's cave. And third, come on, Yun Yongzhu said, taking out 240 wooden boxes. It's for you. These are the various spiritual fruits that my eldest brother brought back from the sect. Each of you takes 60. Be careful. Take 8 of each kind of spiritual peach and 13 of each kind of spiritual date. The largest box has 10 for each person. Yun Yongzhu gave the four younger brothers the most spiritual fruits among all the others. Even Yun's father and mother only got 30 spiritual fruits in total. This was mainly because these spiritual fruits were only first grade low grade spiritual fruits. For cultivators who were building their foundation, they were not very beneficial. They were just for tasting. It was very different for Yun Yongbei and the other three. Eating one spiritual fruit could equal several days of hard training. So many? The wooden boxes were big and small. Yun Yonggyuan opened one at random. Inside was a green peach-shaped spiritual fruit that looked as heavy as jade. Brother, is this a jade peach? Third brother, you have good insight. This is a jade peach. These spiritual fruits are all produced by the spiritual fruit trees that I planted in the sect. These jade peach trees were transplanted back by me, your eldest brother. Look, over there, that is a jade peach tree, and the one next to the pond is a red jade peach tree. Then won't we all be able to eat spiritual peaches in the future? It's just been planted, and you're already thinking about it? Don't worry, when the spiritual peaches are ripe in a year, you two little greedy cats will have a lot of them. Brother, is this a spiritual pomelo? Yes, it's a red heart pomelo. There are 6 kinds in total. Take it back, and take a look at it slowly. Don't waste the spiritual power inside after eating it. Absorb and refine it well. Got it, brother. Okay, brother. Yun Yongzhu then took out another 60 wooden boxes of different sizes. Brother will assign you another task. Here are 60 spiritual fruits, one of which contains 6 spiritual peaches, 8 spiritual dates, and 1 spiritual pomelo. Each of you 4 will be responsible for 1 portion. Help me deliver them to the 4 elders in the family. Since all the members of the family are eligible to receive the spiritual dates, we naturally cannot forget the elders of the family. There are 5 elders in Yunwu Mountain. The 8th elder Yun Yongzhu has already delivered them, leaving only 4 elders to deliver. Brother, don't worry. Leave this matter to us. We will definitely help you deliver the spiritual fruits to the elders. Yun Yongbei patted his chest and took the responsibility. Yun Yonggyuan and the twins also nodded repeatedly, with an expression that it was a trivial matter. Okay, then I will leave this matter to you with confidence. If you have nothing else to do, you can set off now. If you need to find me for anything in the future, just come up the mountain. Yun Yongzhu gave a few instructions and sent his younger brothers to run errands for him. He was not like his 4 younger brothers. He grew up in Yunwu Mountain and knew the location and permanent residence of the family elders' caves. Besides, after all, he was now a cultivator in the foundation building realm. Even if all the elders were his elders, he still had to maintain his dignity as a foundation building cultivator. Moreover, he had just promised his two great-grandfathers to participate in the family's affairs. At this time, personally delivering spiritual fruits seemed too serious, which would make the elders murmur in their hearts. Yun Yongzhu looked around his bamboo garden and thought about the size of the entire cave, which was nearly 8 acres. He thought to himself that he had to recruit a few clansmen to take care of it as soon as possible. Just like the matter of delivering spiritual fruits just now, if there were waiters, he would not need to trouble his younger brothers to run errands. However, this matter could not be simpler. Today, it was getting dark, and Yun Yongzhu planned to look for servants tomorrow. Yun Yongzhu poured an appropriate amount of clean water into the jade teapot, intending to enter the practice room to practice immortal god art. After drinking this pot of Wangayubita tea. Chapter 260, Oddlers and Stewards 1. The next day at 11 AM, in the practice room, Yun Yongzhu slowly finished his training and opened his eyes. Today he should deal with the mortal chores needed in the mansion, otherwise this cave is so big, how come he have so much time to take care of it? Not only mortal chores, he also needs a clan member in the key training stage to manage these mortal chores and help him take care of the 2 spiritual fruit trees in the yard and plant and take care of the spiritual flower seeds he brought back. The 5 acres of spiritual flower seeds he bought are only first grade low grade, which is easy to take care of and does not require much effort. Yun Yongzhu tidied up his wrinkled clothes a little, then walked out of the practice room, out of his cave, and went to find his parents' new residence. Yun Yongzhu has not visited Yundachan and Yanglia's new home yet. This time he went to ask about the chores and attendants, so he could take a good look at their cave. He followed the location his father told him, and found a brand new building in about half a minute. This should be the new cave of my parents, right? Yun Yongzhu murmured, turning his wrist and hitting the entrance of the cave with his palm. A wisp of spiritual power gently patted the door. In an instant, the forbidden barrier outside the cave disappeared. Is it Zua? Coming quickly. Yun Yongzhu scanned with his spiritual sense and found a spiritual plant that looked like a morning glory in the grass outside the cave. He was amazed. This should be the sound transmission chrysanthemum. This kind of spiritual plant grows into flowers. After growing up, it can be used to transmit sound after being transplanted separately. However, the distance it can transmit sound is limited. Yun Yongzhu said to the spiritual flower, "Mom, it's me. I'll come in right away." Then he stepped into the gate of the cave and walked straight along the main road. Yun Changling was watering the spiritual flowers on both sides of a forked road with her daughter. She looked up and saw Yun Yongzhu approaching. She immediately pulled her daughter to the fork of the main road and bowed to him. "Uncle Jiu, you're back. It's Changling. No need to be polite. You followed my parents up the mountain too? Is this your daughter?" "Yes, this is my eldest daughter Yun Fangxing. In 3 months, it will be the family's annual Immortal Fate Festival. Grandpa Wu and Grandma Wu specifically allowed me to take her up the mountain to wait." "Oh, little Fangxing is already 6 years old. I hope you have spiritual roots." Yun Yongzhu squatted down and touched the little girl's head, then stood up and asked Yun Changling about the yard where his parents lived. After that, he turned into a small path in the direction Yun Changling said. Whether on the main avenue or the small path he just walked into, the fragrance was fragrant along the way, and both sides of the road were planted with colorful flowers, and they were all high-grade spiritual flowers. Yun Yongzhu's heart moved. It would be better to place the purple jade bee here first, and not waste this great source of honey. As his mind turned, a small courtyard came into Yun Yongzhu's sight. "Lia Chenju, why are my parents still so cheesy?" Yun Yongzhu muttered to himself as he entered the wide courtyard. A lush spiritual fruit tree came into his sight. It was the first grade low-grade yellow jade peach tree that Yun Yongzhu had just given to Yun's father and mother yesterday. Next to this spiritual peach tree was a large stone table. Opposite the stone table was another thick spiritual fruit tree with broad leaves, which looked like a spiritual pomelo tree. On one of the thick branches of the spiritual fruit tree was a delicate swing frame, swinging in the wind. Not far from the swing frame was another stone table that was half the size, where Yun's father and mother were sitting, drinking tea and reading. Mom and Dad. Zua, come and sit. Yang Lia waved her eldest son to sit next to her. Zua, why are you here today? What's the matter? Mom and Dad, I came here to get to know the family and ask about something. What's the matter? So Yun Yongzhu told her about recruiting people to take care of the cave. It's easy to deal with mortal servants. We can just go down the mountain and select from our clan members or clan members. But it's not easy to choose a clan member who is in charge. Yes, after all, my son, you are already a foundation building master, but your generation is not high. It's more appropriate to choose from the Chang and Fan generations, but there are not many clan members of the right age in these two generations. Yun Yongzhu asked how many clan members there were in the Chang and Fan generations in the family. We don't know the exact number, Zua, you may have to ask the clan leader. Yang Lia shook her head and said, although my child's cave is big, I only need to arrange mortals to do the cleaning, repairs and other miscellaneous work. On weekdays, they just help me run errands and give spiritual rain to the two spiritual peach trees and spiritual flowers. The work is not complicated. They can do it when they are over 15 or 16 years old. It would be even better if they have practiced the gathering spirits and turning rain art. There are about 10 or 20 people over the age of 15 in the Chang and Fan generations of the clan. Your mother and I usually practice in the cave, and we are not familiar with each other. Moreover, I don't know how many of them have practiced the gathering spirits and turning rain art. When Yang Lia heard about the gathering spirits and turning rain art, her eyes lit up and a hesitant look appeared on her face. Yun Yongzhu saw it and asked her, Mom, who did you think of? Zua, have you forgotten that Baya has been taking care of the spiritual fields at the foot of the mountain for many years? Yes, my second brother Yun Yongzhu has been taking care of the spiritual fields for many years. He will definitely go to the family library to exchange for the gathering spirits and turning rain art. After so many years, this art should have been cultivated to the great success level. Yun Yongzhu patted his forehead. The right person was clearly far away and right in front of him, but he was still looking for him everywhere. Is this the so-called darkness under the lamp? Exclamation mark. Then I will go down the mountain right away to ask my second brother if he is willing to help me manage the cave. After Yun Yongzhu finished speaking, he pretended to leave. Wait, Zua, do you mind if Baya goes to your cave to manage things? Mother, if anyone minds, it should be my second brother. I still need to ask his wishes. If he doesn't agree, I'll go to my second grandfather. That's fine, son. I'll go with you and take you to select a few mortal servants. Lia, do you want to stay at home or follow me? Let's go together. It's been several years since I last visited my parents and my brothers and sisters-in-law. It's a good time to go and visit them. Then the family went down the mountain and headed towards Yun Yongzhu's cave. About half an incense stick of time later, Yun Yongzhu followed Yun Dachan and his wife to a small house near the bottom of Yunwu mountain, next to a relatively flat spiritual field. Mom and Dad, is this where my second brother lives at the foot of the mountain? Why is it so simple? Yun Yongzhu suddenly felt distressed. What kind of place did his own brother live in? He actually lived in a thatched house. He built it himself. Zua, how good do you think his craftsmanship is? Don't feel sorry for this kid. You will know when you go in and take a look. Yun Yongzhu doubtfully threw a communication talisman into the thatched house. Chapter 261, Servants and Stewards 2. After about 3 to 5 minutes, Yun Yongzhu came out and opened the wooden door of the small courtyard. Dad, Mom, big brother, why did you all come down the mountain? Come in. Yun Yongzhu was very surprised. He couldn't understand why his big brother and his parents came down the mountain to find him. As soon as Yun Yongzhu entered the small courtyard, he instantly felt the difference in the concentration of spiritual energy inside and outside. Baya, did you set up a spirit gathering array here? Yun Yongzhu touched his head and said embarrassedly, yes, it's all thanks to big brother. With the elixir you gave us, I was able to accumulate the spiritual stones to buy the spirit gathering array. Yun Yongzhu looked around the courtyard. Although it was small, it had everything. Although the corridors and floors were not made of top-grade spiritual wood, they were also paved with precious sandalwood from the mortal world. The wooden pillars in the courtyard were all carved with exquisite patterns, which looked very elegant. He followed his parents and came to the main hall in a few steps. The tables, chairs, and benches in the main hall are all made of Nanmu wood, and the cups and tea sets are made of first-grade medium and high-quality jade. They are much more exquisite than those of Yun Yongzhu, a foundation building cultivator. Yun Yongzhu could hardly believe that the courtyard looked like a dilapidated thatched house from the outside, but it was actually a small palace inside. Zua, how is it? Are you surprised? Yun Yongzhu nodded repeatedly, turned to Yun Yongbei and said, "Second brother, you don't know that the first time I came to your place, I saw a dilapidated thatched house. I felt really bad. I thought my brother couldn't make it anymore." Yun Daichen and his wife laughed after hearing this, but Yun Yongbei stood up and bowed to Yun Yongzhu solemnly. "Brother, it's Bear's fault. Thank you for your concern. But brother, have you forgotten that you supported me with 500 spirit stones not long ago? My parents are both staying in the family. How could they let their second son live so poorly? Even if my parents don't know, the family still has a monthly allowance, so your brother won't have trouble making ends meet." Yun Yongzhu thought about it, and it was true. "Hey, your brother, I'm just too concerned about you." The four of them laughed and joked for a while, and then Yun Yongbei asked Yun Yongzhu and the other two about what they came to him for. "Second brother, you also went to see my cave yesterday. It's really too big. I want to ask you to help me manage it. Do you think you are willing?" Yun Yongbei hesitated. His eldest brother's cave was indeed a bit big. He was alone, and he could manage it, but it would delay his cultivation. "Brother, your cave is too big. I'm worried that I won't have time to practice." Yun Yongbei had nothing to hide from his elder brother. He also believed that his elder brother would pay more attention to his cultivation realm than others. "You are not smart when you should be smart. If he knew that it would delay your cultivation, would your elder brother still come to you? You are so stupid." Yang Lia sat next to Yun Yongbei and nodded his head. What mother meant was, how could such a large cave be left to you alone to manage? In addition to appointing you as the chief steward of the cave today, your elder brother went down the mountain to find some capable mortal servants. You just need to arrange these people to do the work. "Yes, second brother, are you willing to help in my cave?" Yun Yongbei nodded repeatedly without hesitation this time. This is a good job. He can live directly on the mountain. The spiritual power on the mountain is not comparable to what he has here, which will greatly assist his cultivation. And working for his elder brother, how can he not get his own benefits? Since you are willing, second brother, hand over the spiritual field mission outside as soon as possible. It doesn't matter if you spend more spiritual stones. Then go to my eldest brother's place and choose a small courtyard to live in. After Yun Yongzhu gave the instructions, he followed his father and mother to fly out of Yunwu Mountain. But they did not fly in the direction of Yunwu Town, but to another Yun family settlement. The Yun family has more than 200,000 members in total, and they are not all gathered in Yunwu Town. These 200,000 members are not too many, but not too few either. They are divided into 6 settlements. As the top figures of the family, the 3 of them gradually learned that in addition to the more than 40,000 members living in Yunwu Town, there are about more than 30,000 members in each of the other 5 settlements. "Dad and Mom, are we going to the Beta Town, where Grandpa and Grandma are?" Although Yun Yongzhu had never seen Grandpa and Grandma and other elders, he had heard his parents talk about them when he was very young. After he tested his spiritual roots and officially practiced, he rarely heard his parents mention these elders and relatives in the mortal world. "Do you still know Beta Town? I heard my parents mention it when I was a child." "Son, your memory is really amazing. No wonder you have achieved what you have today." "Yes, we are going there. I haven't seen your grandparents for several years." Yun Daichen looked a little dazed. Since his spiritual roots were detected, he went to Yunwu Mountain. Although he could not be said to be separated from the immortals forever, after going up the mountain, the number of times he went back was indeed very few. He only went back to visit his parents, brothers, sisters and others every few years. In recent years, in order to successfully build the foundation, he practiced in seclusion all day long, and he had not been back to Beta Town for a long time. Yun Yongzhu saw the expressions of his parents, so he stopped talking. The three of them flew in silence. After about half an hour, Yun's father and mother fell down. Zua, keep up, we are almost there. Gradually, Yun Yongzhu could see a large village under his feet, enlarged in his eyes. He followed Yun's father and mother, and landed outside a large courtyard. Lina, should it be here? Yun Dachin asked his wife uncertainly. Yes, brother Chen, it's here. Before Yun Dachin knocked on the door, the gate of the courtyard was opened, and a teenager asked several people bravely, "Are you the family's celestial master?" Then more than a dozen people of all ages came out of the courtyard. An old man who looked to be in his 50s or 60s walked out slowly. His tone was very excited. Is it Xiao Bei? Yun Dachin stared at the old man in a daze. His expression was obscure. "Seventh brother? How come you are so old?" "It's me, eighth brother." The old man was very excited and trembling all over. Yun Dachin hurried over and conducted spiritual power into the old man's body, and the other party gradually calmed down. Yun Yongzhu watched from the side. It seemed that this old man was his father's seventh brother, his own seventh uncle. Although the other party was just an ordinary mortal, Yun Yongzhu had no family affection for him, but just based on the blood connection, Yun Yongzhu also respected the old man. He walked forward and bowed respectfully to the old man. "Yongzhu greets Uncle Ki." Hearing Yun Yongzhu's voice, the old man looked at him and couldn't help but feel happy. "This is your eldest son Yun Yongzhu. He has grown up so much now, and he looks like me when I was young. Seventh brother, let's go in and talk. The younger generations are all out." At this time, Yang Lila came over and said to the old man, yes, let's go in and talk. Little ones, all of you go in." The old man tightly grasped Yun Dachin's hand, pulled him in, and told Yun Yongzhu and his mother to follow. "Mom, Uncle Ki's eyesight is not very good. How can I look like him? Anyone with a discerning eye can see that my father and I are cut from the same mold." Yang Lila looked at Yun Yongzhu with a complicated expression. "Seventh brother is right. You look a lot like him. When he was young, your father and brother Ki were originally twin brothers." Yun Yongzhu's consciousness swept across Uncle Ki's face, and he could really see the shadow of his father, but there were a few wrinkles on his face and his skin was dark, so Yun Yongzhu didn't notice it just now. Then he thought of his twin brother. No wonder his mother could give birth to Aina and Kanja. It turned out that it was hereditary. The group walked into the main hall. The old man pulled Yun Dachin to sit at the top, and then told the younger generation to call my parents. Yun Dachin stood up immediately. "Seventh brother, how can you ask my parents to come to see me? I'd better go to see them. Now that you know this, you haven't come back to see us for so many years." If Fear and Fear's wife hadn't sent messages from time to time and brought back some spiritual medicine, I would have thought you had forgotten us. Having said that, the old man still stood up and took Yun Dachin to the inner courtyard. Yun Yongzhu and Yang Lila followed naturally. After going through several archways, the old man led the family of three into a small courtyard. "Although you brought back the elixir, my parents are still getting older. If you don't come back, they won't be able to see them. In a few years, you won't even be able to see me. Seventh brother, okay, I don't blame you. I know you are also practicing. As long as you are fine, my parents and we will all be relieved. Wait in the yard. I'll go talk to my parents first, so that they won't be too happy and cause any trouble." After a long time, the house was opened. Yun Yongzhu's spiritual sense swept through and saw two old men with silver hair and wrinkled faces, but full of energy jogging out anxiously, and the seventh uncle followed closely behind. "The youngest is back. Where are you?" Yun Dachin hurried over and knelt in front of the two people and kowtowed. "Father and mother, your son is unfilial." Yang Lila and Yun Yongzhu also knelt down behind Yun Dachin. The two old men pulled Yun Dachin to stand up, and when they saw Yun Yongzhu, they were immediately surprised. "This is Xiao Zua, my dear grandson. Get up quickly, my daughter-in-law. Don't kneel down, you are an immortal." Yun Yongzhu didn't expect that he was quite well known in this strange family. Next was the scene of family reunion, tears welling up in the eyes. Grandparents pulled Yun to talk endlessly. After an intense stick of time, the small courtyard was already crowded with Yun clan members, densely packed. Yun Yongzhu's spiritual sense randomly scanned and found that there were about 400 people, not counting the children running between the legs of adults. After another half an incense stick of time, Yun and the others got to the point. Immortal Fate Festival is still a few months away. My daughter, do you have any tasks in the family to bring Xiao Zua back? It's not for the Immortal Fate Festival, but Zua, his cave needs some chores and helpers, so he came back to select. The old man was overjoyed when he heard this. His grandson was going to help his clan members. Yes, yes, yes. Our beta town has developed well in recent years, and many of our tribesmen are good at fighting. Then Yun Yongzhu's grandparents, 5th uncle, 6th aunt, 7th uncle and others called in a large number of young people. My dear grandson, you can choose. Looking at the old man and old lady with narrowed eyes, Yun Yongzhu nodded and said, okay, grandpa and grandma. Then he circulated his spiritual power to his Jingming acupoint and looked at the tribesmen in the yard. This is just a simple key reading technique. In this way, Yun Yongzhu can see the vitality and spiritual energy contained in the bodies of these ordinary tribesmen, and from then on, he can infer the martial arts level of the tribesmen. Yun Yongzhu quickly selected the tribesmen he needed. These were ordinary mortals with high martial arts skills. They could at least move freely on a mountain thousands of meters high, so that they could work for him. He selected a total of 30 ordinary chores, so that it would be much easier for his brother to arrange. The selected tribesmen were all surprised and excited. Chapter 262 Returning Home. Xiao Zua, why are you running away? I want to ask you something. I heard that the immortal master from 3rd grandfather's family is back. Is this true? Aunt 11, it's true. The courtyard of 3rd great grandfather's house is already crowded. Then why are you running back? I was chosen by Uncle 9 to go to Yunwu Mountain to work. So I'm going home to pack my bags. What? Is the Uncle 9 you mentioned the immortal master of the family? How come you were chosen when you were only 16 years old? Uncle 9 is the grandson of 3rd great grandfather and the son of 8th grandfather. He is also an immortal master. Opportunities are reserved for those who are prepared. After so many years of hard work in cultivating internal strength, my efforts have finally paid off. Uncle 9 has a sharp gaze and can see at a glance that my internal strength is profound, so he chose me. Okay, Aunt 11, I won't talk to you anymore. I'm going home to pack my bags quickly. It would be bad if Uncle 9 leaves. After that, Yun Shanghai ran towards his home. Hey, Xiaoya, wait a minute. Has the family master finished selecting the chores? Has Gauden been to 3rd grandpa's house? Seeing Xiaoya disappearing quickly, Aunt 11 stamped her feet helplessly, then turned and ran to 3rd grandpa's house, Yun Yongzhu's biological grandfather. An hour later, in the courtyard, Yun Yongzhu took out the willow leaf shuttle that was nurtured in his danshan and threw it into the air. The small shuttle, shaped like a willow leaf, quickly swelled in front of everyone's eyes. All the onlookers looked up and exclaimed, looking at Yun Yongzhu and the other two with respect. This was the immortal of their Yun family, their patron saint. Yun Dachan knelt down with his wife and son and bid farewell to his parents. Dad and Mom, I'm going back to the mountain now. Brothers and sisters, Xiao Bei is leaving now. Youngest's wife, you don't have to worry about us two old guys. With the elixirs and magical medicines you often send back, we can live another 30 or 40 years without any problem. We are content with this life. Xiao Zua, cultivate immortality well in the mountain. If there is still a shortage of work in the mansion, just come down the mountain and go back quickly. The father and son stood up, and Yun Yongzhu looked at his parents. The three looked at each other and nodded, and then they all used their spiritual power to transport the 30 tribesmen in the yard with large and small bags to the willow leaf shuttle in the sky. The best number of people for the willow leaf shuttle is 5. If you squeeze in, you can carry more than 10 people. However, the willow leaf shuttle is a spiritual weapon. As long as the spiritual power is sufficient, it can be enlarged several times to carry more people, but the consumption of spiritual power will also increase exponentially. This is not the first time Yun Yongzhu has used the willow leaf shuttle, but it is the first time to enlarge it by twice. Yun Chang'ai felt his whole body was light and floating, with nowhere to put his feet. He flew up, and the figure under his feet gradually became smaller, and then he could overlook the whole yard. The companions who were selected with him also flew up to the sky, and soon flew into the huge ship in the sky. All the clansmen in the town looked at this flying scene with envy and yearning. These 30 lucky people will be able to work for the family's immortal master in the future, and have the opportunity to obtain the nectar and elixir that the immortal master eats. Dad and Mom, go in. Yun Yongzhu said as the three of them were suspended in the air. Yun Daichen looked down again and nodded. Let's go. The three flew into the willow shuttle. Yun Yongzhu looked at the 30 people on the deck of the willow shuttle. All of them were around 10 or 20 years old, and they were all clansmen with deep inner strength. After following me up the mountain, you can't go down the mountain easily. If anyone doesn't want to go, just say so now, and I'll send him down immediately. Yun Yongzhu's cave is located at an altitude of 4 or 5,000 meters in Yunwu Mountain. Even if a clan member with key training level flies up on a cloud, it will take at least half an hour, not to mention these mortals without spiritual power. Moreover, the harmless spiritual beasts such as Linga and chicken raised in the mountain are not easy targets for them. Therefore, Yun Yongzhu does not intend to allow the servants in the cave to go down the mountain and go home every once in a while like the clan members on the mountainside. Everyone shook their heads in unison. Even if they couldn't go home easily, they all wanted to follow Yun Yongzhu into the fairy mountain of the clan. In that case, let's set off. Yun Yongzhu urged the willow leaf shuttle to fly up to the clouds. He looked at his silent father beside him, and his heart was complicated. Although he only stayed in that mortal world home for half a day, Yun Yongzhu could see that his father was very concerned about his grandparents and those uncles and aunts. From this half day, Yun Yongzhu learned that his father was the youngest among his peers in that small family, and was spoiled since he was a child. Besides grandparents, the person his father cared about most was the seventh uncle of the twins. It was hard to imagine that one of the twins had spiritual roots, while the other did not have the qualifications to practice. The seventh uncle and his father were obviously brothers from the same mother, born one after the other in this world, but now one is old and the other looks like a young man in his 20s or 30s. In order to liven up the atmosphere and adjust his father's mood, Yun Yongzhu talked about the purple jade bee. Dad and Mom, didn't I take a picture of a purple jade bee egg in Xianyuan City last time? What? Did you hatch it? Yun Daichen became interested. Yes, it has turned into a bee now. Aren't there many spiritual flowers planted in your cave? Can I? These spiritual flowers are planted by your mother. You can ask her. Mom? Of course you can, but those spiritual flowers of mine are for viewing and gathering spiritual energy. I don't think there will be much spiritual honey that can be collected. That's better than me raising it. This purple jade bee is a spiritual insect that collects and brews honey. The spiritual flowers at my mother's place are just right for it to practice. When my own spiritual flowers are planted, I can move it back. You clever ghost. Just kidding. When the purple jade bee makes spiritual honey, Mom and Dad can use it. Just consider it as the honey collection fee paid by Xiaozi. Haha. I've never heard of any picking fee. Zua, you really have a creative idea. While he was speaking, Yun Yongzhu's willow leaf shuttle had already carried them out of the clouds. Yun Daichen took out his identity jade card and punched into the formation barrier of Lingfeng. A huge hole suddenly appeared in the barrier shield. Yun Yongzhu took the opportunity to control the willow leaf shuttle to enter, and then the gap in the shield was restored. Seeing that the formation barrier was restored, Yun Yongzhu stopped the willow leaf shuttle in the open space in front of his cave. Go down, I'll help you take the gift back down. The 30 young tribesmen had already seen the magnificent building below in the willow leaf shuttle, and their eyes were full of admiration. It really deserves to be the cave where the immortal master lives. It is indeed a blessed place of the immortal mountain. Moreover, they also have some insights. Seeing that Yun Yongzhu's cave is so large and built on a high place, they guessed that Yun Yongzhu's strength and status are not bad, and their mood is even more surging. These people have no spiritual power cultivation, but their internal strength is deep. Although the willow leaf shuttle is high, it is a piece of cake for them to go down. Yun Yongzhu looked at these people from the mortal world jumping off the deck of the willow shuttle with satisfaction. He wanted menial workers who could do the work. If they couldn't even get off the willow shuttle, he would doubt their abilities. Chapter 263 Settling Everyone. Yun Yongzhu put away the many gift packages in the willow leaf shuttle and then flew out of the spirit boat. After putting the willow leaf shuttle back into his danshan, Yun Yongzhu said to his parents, "Mom and Dad, take the purple JB away now. That's good, so you don't have to run to us again. Let's go." The group entered Yun Yongzhu's cave in a mighty manner. He called out to the purple JB in his heart as he walked. About half a minute later, a fist-sized, crystal clear purple JB flew over quickly. Seeing so many strangers entering its territory, the purple JB's hair stood up, and its stinger protruded, as if it was about to attack. Seeing this, Yun Yongzhu stopped it immediately. "Ziozi, come here quickly." The purple JB is now only a first level medium quality spirit insect. Its attack power is actually not high. Being stung only causes pain for 3 to 5 days. Its bee venom can be detoxified with honey brewed by the purple JB. However, for these mortals who have no spiritual power, the purple JB is a killer insect. A sting from its tail will probably kill them. Although the purple JB does not have strong attack power, it is very aggressive. As long as other creatures enter its field of vision, it will rush up and drive them away. This is also closely related to the fact that many monsters like to eat purple JBs and the spiritual honey brewed by purple JBs. The reason why Ziozi did not attack the soul-seeking butterfly and the soul-eating golden cicada was because it felt the breath of Yun Yongzhu on them. The purple JB obeyed Yun Yongzhu's orders obediently and flew to his shoulder and hovered, but its compound eyes were still paying attention to Yun Chang'ai and others. Yun Yongzhu's spiritual consciousness connected with the tiny consciousness of the purple JB. "Ziozi, we've moved. You will temporarily follow my parents to their place to stay for a while. There is delicious spiritual honey there." The purple JB had just transformed into a bee not long ago and was not very smart. Yun Yongzhu repeated his orders several times, telling it to follow Yun's father and mother and not to hurt anyone at will. Although the purple JB had low attacking power, Yun Yongzhu, for safety reasons, put some of his own blood in a jade bottle and gave it to Yun Daichin. "Dad and Mom, take it away and see if Ziozi can keep up." Yun Yongzhu looked at the purple JB obediently following the Yun father and Yun mother, and he couldn't help but feel relieved. It seemed that Ziozi understood what he meant. Not long after Yun Daichin and his wife left with the purple JB, Yun Yongbei came up the mountain. At this time, Yun Yongzhu had not yet arranged for the 30 mortal servants. "Brother, please take some time to make me a jade talisman for entering and exiting, so that it will be much more convenient for me. I know about this. I will send it to you after I make it for you. Do you see these people? These are the mortal servants I brought to the mountain not long ago. They were all selected from the clan members. You can arrange for them to get familiar with the environment of the cave residents after you get familiar with them. By the way, take them to Xiangan Courtyard, Yian Courtyard or Kaian Courtyard to stay first, and ask them to put away their gifts and other things. As for yourself, you can choose a room in the bamboo garden cottage later, or choose a small courtyard in the Fian Palace. It depends on your mood. Settle these 30 people first, and then choose your own residence." These 3 courtyards were specially built by Yun Yongzhu for the clan members who did chores in the cave residents to live in. There are more than 100 rooms in them, which is more than enough to settle these 30 people. Even if they get married and have children in the future, they will be able to live there. "Brother, how much is a monthly salary for these chores?" "Just give them 1 gold coin a month, and you can exchange it and distribute it to them. As for you, you can get 3 top grade key gathering pills a month, and nothing else." Yun Yongzhu knew that his second brother wanted to know about his treatment, so he said jokingly, "Ah, brother, just kidding. Your monthly salary is 50 spirit stones plus half a bottle of top grade key gathering pills." In fact, even if Yun Yongzhu gave Yun Yongbei half a bottle of top grade key gathering pills, he could only take 1 at most. The extra pills were given by Yun Yongzhu to him to trade spiritual objects or make friends. In the sect, Yun Yongzhu paid Wang Yiming all his salary in pills, and of course he took even more care of his second brother. Thank you, brother. Okay, go and make arrangements. After they are settled, remember to come to the bamboo garden cottage. Yun Yongzhu looked in the direction of the mirror lake and thought that it was time to start building this spiritual medicine garden. He had just finished making a jade talisman for entering and exiting the cave when Yun Yongzhu came over. Here, this is the pass I just made. It will last for a year. You can replace it after a year. Yun Yongzhu took it and said, brother, I will live in the Yuan courtyard in Fian Hall. I'm afraid that I will disturb your cultivation in the Zuoan cottage. It's up to you. Take these seeds. Yun Yongzhu handed the 5 acres of spiritual flower seeds he bought from the sect to Yun Yongzhu. These are 5 kinds of first level low grade spiritual flower seeds. One small bag is one kind of spiritual flower seed. These can probably plant 5 acres. Take some time to choose a few places outside the cave where there are few spiritual trees and scatter them. It would be better if you can plant them all in one place. Just apply spiritual rain every 6 or 7 days. Oh, and see the 2 spiritual peach trees in this courtyard, right? They also need to be watered every 10 days or half a month. Got it, brother. Leave everything to me. Is there anything else? That's all for now. I'm handing this cave to you. As the two were talking, a huge spiritual butterfly flew to Yun Yongzhu's body and flew around him. What is this? Oh, this is my soul-seeking butterfly, called Wu-Kei, asking me for food. Yun Yongzhu took out spiritual honey to feed the soul-seeking butterfly while talking to Yun Yongzhu. Didn't I just tell you to plant spiritual flowers? It's for this guy. Wu-Kei has to eat spiritual honey every day. When the spiritual flowers grow, let it go and let it collect honey by itself. I see. Big brother, what kind of spiritual honey is this? Why is it so sweet? Yun Yongzhu looked at his second brother who looked a little greedy, smiled and took out a jade cup, scooped him a small cup, about 5 spoonfuls. This is the 100 flavors honey I brought back from Qingshan sect, also known as the 100 fragrance honey. Have a taste. Then you're welcome. Yun Yongzhu continued, in addition to this soul-seeking butterfly, I also have a soul-eating golden cicada. You must be careful when you come here to give spiritual rain. I have already ordered them not to attack others at will, but after all, they are only spiritual insects with low intelligence. You still have to be careful and don't provoke them at will. There is also a purple jade bee, which was just taken to their cave by my parents to collect honey. I will take it back when the spiritual flowers grow. In addition, I have a spiritual beast egg, which will also be active in this area of the cave after hatching. Remember to tell the clansmen in the mansion about this and ask them to pay more attention. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264 Spirit Insect Advancement. Yun Yongzhu explained everything to his second brother, no matter how big or small. Brother, I know everything. Is there anything else you want to tell me? Yun Yongzhu thought about it and looked at the rooms in the yard. There were 3 small houses filled with the remaining building materials from the construction of the cave. Although most of them were ordinary building materials, there were still a small part of spiritual materials. For example, there were 2 pieces of Qingxin bamboo left, and some corners of Qingyang wood were left. These were the little spiritual materials that Yun Yongzhu bought to build the cave. In addition, there were more spiritual woods and materials such as ironwood, pine wood, sandalwood, etc., which were all spiritual woods grown on Yunwu Mountain. The clan leader said at the time that all of them would be given to Yun Yongzhu to build the cave, and if there were any left, they would be returned to the clan. He never found the time. Second brother, there are some spiritual wood and materials left over from building the cave in those 3 rooms. Take some time to send them all to the 5th elder and say that they are the spiritual wood left over from building the cave. Then clean up the room. Okay, I'll go and take care of it now. Okay, then you go ahead. Watching his second brother walk into the 3 rooms, Yun Yongzhu walked towards the jade peach tree in the yard. He searched for a while on the branches of the peach tree, and indeed found the figure of the soul-devouring golden cicada. It was lying quietly on a thick branch without moving. "Xiaojin, come down quickly. It's time for dinner." The soul-devouring golden cicada heard it, and immediately became energetic. It flapped its membrane wings, and flew to Yun Yongzhu's shoulder and stopped. Yun Yongzhu took it into an empty room, and then made a simple ban. Then he took out a white soul locking bag from his storage bag, and released a second level low-grade monster spirit. The soul-devouring golden cicada chirped excitedly, and then lay on the monster spirit to absorb it. In just 3 or 5 breaths, a demon beast spirit worth 100 spirit stones was devoured by it. But the soul-devouring golden cicada was still not satisfied, and eagerly asked Yun Yongzhu for food. Yun Yongzhu knew that this was the critical period for the soul-devouring golden cicada to advance, so he did not refuse its request, and released another second-level low-grade demon beast spirit. Yun Yongzhu thought that after the soul-devouring golden cicada devoured this demon beast spirit, it would return to the jasper peach tree in the yard and lie quietly as usual. Unexpectedly, it flew lazily to Yun Yongzhu's shoulder, conveyed to Yun Yongzhu a thought of advancing, and fell asleep directly on his shoulder. Yun Yongzhu was immediately surprised. Xiaojin was finally going to advance to the second level middle grade. This soul-devouring golden cicada is really a gold-eating beast. From the first level to the second level, it devoured more than 100 demon beast spirits, including 15 first level high-grade demon beast spirits, whose value added up to at least more than 2,500 spirit stones. When the second grade lower grade was upgraded to the second grade middle grade, it devoured as many as 400 monster spirits, including hundreds of first grade upper grade monster spirits, 5 second grade lower grade monster spirits, and 6 foundation building cultivator souls. Excluding the cultivator souls, the value of the monster spirits would not be less than 8,500 spirit stones, more than twice the cost of upgrading from the first grade to the second grade. With Yun Yongzhu's ability to earn spirit stones, he was a little worried that he could not afford the consumption of this soul-devouring golden cicada. Fortunately, the soul-devouring golden cicada entered the advanced state today, and Yun Yongzhu's increasingly worried mood finally relaxed a little. Yun Yongzhu took out a jade box made of warm sun jade, and took out 5 spirit stones of 5 attributes, twisted them into powder, and evenly sprinkled them in the jade box. Then he carefully took the soul-devouring golden cicada off his shoulder, and placed it in the jade box, and then covered the jade box, and placed it on the table in this room. He also set up many restrictions in the room, and then left the house with confidence. When Yun Yongzhu came out, Yun Yongbei had already left. He thought that he had to explain this matter to his second brother, and not let anyone disturb the soul-devouring golden cicada's advancement. If Xiaojin wakes up, it will be a second level medium quality spiritual insect, but this treasure hunting butterfly is still a first level upper quality. It seems that he must comprehend the recipe of the soul feeding pill as soon as possible. After thinking about it, Yun Yongzhu came to another small house, and began to arrange the hatching room for the Thunder Eagle eggs. Hatching spiritual beasts is not like hatching ordinary animals. The temperature requirement is not high. Generally, in a place with rich spiritual energy, the eggs of spiritual beasts will hatch naturally, and the time may be long or short. In fact, it is best to hatch Thunder Eagle eggs in a place with abundant Thunder attribute spiritual energy, but Yun Yongzhu did not have Thunder attribute spiritual stones and natural treasures, so he could not arrange a Thunder attribute spiritual power environment. Yun Yongzhu took out 100 spiritual stones of 5 attributes and spread them all on the ground, and then took out a furry animal skin, and placed it on the surface of the spiritual stones. With his current conditions, he could only arrange such a hatching nest for the 5 element of spiritual power. After checking, Yun Yongzhu carefully placed the 1 meter tall, purple glowing Thunder Eagle egg in the spirit beast bag on the thick animal skin. This was considered the beginning of the hatching process. Because there was no Thunder attribute aura, the hatching time might be a little longer. However, this did not have much impact on Yun Yongzhu, because he currently had the second level upper grade flying spirit weapon Willow Leaf shuttle given by his master to travel, which was also an important reason why he was not in a hurry to hatch the Thunder Eagle egg. Yun Yongzhu cut his index finger, and then used his blood to carve a mysterious rune array on the Thunder Eagle egg. He did not stop until the entire surface of the Thunder Eagle egg was covered with the painting. What he drew was actually a small control array, which was a more reliable array for contracting spirit beasts that Yun Yongzhu had found in the sect. The family's contract formula is only suitable for contracting spirit insects with low intelligence, low-level monsters or spirit beast cubs, and beast eggs can of course also be contracted. However, this Thunder Eagle egg is expected to be promoted to the 3rd or even 4th level. If you use a low-level contract spell to contract it, it is inevitable that there will be a possibility of backlash in the future. Before the God Control Array was finished, Yun Yongzhu forced another drop of precious blood essence from his body, and then chanted something. Heaven and earth are witnesses. The creatures in front of me voluntarily become my spiritual pets, voluntarily recognize me as their master, obey my orders, and never betray me. If they violate the order, heaven and earth will punish them together. As he chanted, a huge golden contract array appeared under his feet and around the Thunder Eagle egg. As Yun Yongzhu chanted the spell, the pattern of the contract array completely enveloped him and the Thunder Eagle egg. Then he dropped the drop of blood essence in his palm, which turned light gold and was full of mysterious aura, onto the surface of the Thunder Eagle egg full of blood patterns of the God Control Array. As soon as this drop of blood essence landed on the surface of the eggshell, it was instantly absorbed by the God Control Array. With a flash of light, the entire array gradually disappeared, as if it was absorbed by the eggshell. Instantly, Yun Yongzhu felt a vague connection between himself and the Thunder Eagle egg in front of him. He placed his hand on the Thunder Eagle egg and carefully felt it for a while. After confirming that the Thunder Eagle egg was still full of vitality, he left the small room that had just become an incubator with peace of mind. Chapter 265 Thinking About Life. After coming out, he set up a simple ban on the door of the hut and walked to the Kinksin bamboo pavilion in the yard to sit down, then took out the recipe of the soul feeding pill and began to comprehend it again. After the Thunder Eagle egg hatches, it is estimated that it will also need to take the soul feeding pill, so he has to refine the soul feeding pill as soon as possible. Time passed slowly, and when Yun Yongzhu came to his senses, it was already evening. He was awakened by Yun Yongzhu from the pill recipe. Brother, come to dinner. I cooked some billing rice and made a few meat dishes with the meat of the red-skinned beast. This red-skinned beast is a first-level low-grade spirit beast. It looks similar to a wild boar, but the fur of the red-skinned beast is all red. When it grows up, it weighs about 400 kilograms. This red-skinned beast is also the spirit beast meat that old cultivators on Yunwu Mountain often eat. The price is lower than that of other spirit beast meat. One spirit stone can buy 20 kilograms. Yun Yongzhu looked up and saw that the meal was indeed set on the stone table in the yard. He put away the recipe and the Yongzhu memorandum and walked to the stone table and sat down. Second brother, start eating. He picked up a piece of beast meat and put it in his mouth. Well, it's not bad. Although there is only a little bit of spiritual energy left, it tastes good. It's lean but not dry and fragrant. Haha, I have practiced my cooking skills over the years. It's okay if big brother eats it. It's a pity that I don't have the skills of the 10th sister's spiritual chef. Otherwise I can make this spiritual beast meat into spiritual food. When Yun Yongzhu mentioned spiritual food, Yun Yongzhu remembered what he gained from his trip back to the sect, which was the soul locking technique for processing spiritual food materials. He himself has not started practicing, but he has memorized all the magic tricks, seals, and spells. Yun Yongzhu put down his chopsticks, took out a piece of green hard jade, and recorded the contents of the soul locking technique with his spiritual consciousness. Seeing this, Yun Yongzhu also put down his chopsticks and quietly watched his eldest brother's actions, curious. After a while, Yun Yongzhu took the green jade slip handed to him by his eldest brother and stared at him with a puzzled look. Yun Yongzhu picked up his chopsticks and continued to shovel rice into his mouth. Nothing, just a second level spell. After dinner, you can check carefully to see if you have time to practice. But everything should be based on your cultivation level. Let's eat. Yun Yongzhu was surprised by the grade of the spell. This is a mid-level spell. But he didn't say anything. He carefully put away the jade slip, nodded, and followed him to eat. The sooner he finished his meal, the sooner he could see the spell. While eating the spiritual rice, Yun Yongzhu talked to Yun Yongzhu about the soul-devouring golden cicada's advancement and the hatching of the Thunder Eagle egg. Yes, it's those two rooms. I have set up restrictions outside. You just need to tell others not to disturb them at will. Brother, I told them early in the morning that they are not allowed to come to your bamboo garden. I will tidy up this courtyard myself and pay more attention to it. That's good. In addition, I will invite people to the cave to cultivate spiritual fields and build spiritual medicine gardens recently. You have to cooperate with them more. Is it built in the large open space to the west of the cave? Yes, it is built near the mirror lake. Okay, I know. The two brothers talked while eating, and soon the whole table of food was swept away. Yun Yongzhu was very comfortable and liked the feeling of having someone to eat with him in the cave. When he was in the Yuntai peak of the sect, Wang Yiming would accompany him to eat from time to time. Since Yun Yongzhu became a disciple of Huang Chengsheng and moved to Piomio Peak, Yun Yongzhu has always eaten alone in the cave, except in Piomio residence. Yun Yongzhu stopped Yun Yongbei, who was about to leave, and took out 500 spirit stones and handed them to him. Use these spirit stones for daily expenses. Buy some black pearl rice, Lingan chicken eggs, spirit beast meat, etc. You can buy the furniture and utensils that are missing in the cave. Keep a record and come to me when you are done. Okay, big brother, I'm leaving then. Well, go back. Yun Yongbei packed up the dishes and took them away, and the yard became quiet again. Yun Yongzhu looked at the sun that had not yet set, took out the mist-hidden tea and brewed it. In fact, he liked the moon-watching bitter tea more, but unfortunately the quantity was not large, so he had to be restrained. He didn't have much of the mist-hidden tea left, but although the mist-hidden tea was expensive, it could be bought in some shops. But the moon-watching bitter tea was only produced in small quantities at the moon-watching peak of the Kingan sect, and it was not sold to the public. He took a sip of the mist-hidden tea and sighed comfortably. This is life. Before Yun Yongzhu established his foundation, he was always thinking about establishing his foundation as soon as possible, and then assisting his father and mother in establishing their foundations to extend their lifespans. Therefore, even if he had some free time occasionally, he could not rest in his heart. He drank his spiritual tea leisurely while staring blankly at the setting sun. Yun Yongzhu's thoughts were scattered. Now that he had the assistance of the wood flame pill, he basically did not have to worry about his spiritual power. When the wood flame pill ran out, he could barely take the middle grade gelling pill. He still had to continue to polish his alchemy skills. He had to practice the immortal god technique unremittingly. When the soul-devouring golden cicada awakened, I wonder if the spiritual consciousness that could be increased by feeding the monster's essence would be more. In any case, he had to cultivate his soul and advance it to the Yuanshan as soon as possible and sacrifice the handkerchief as soon as possible. He did not know whether the Thunder Eagle could directly advance to the second level spiritual beast after taking the Thunder Yuan fruit, and he did not know how long it would take for the Soul Seeker to advance to the second level lower grade. He was thinking about his own affairs and the affairs of his family. I have to hand over the soul locking art to the clan tomorrow and ask the 8th grandpa to help build the spiritual medicine garden in the cave. I heard that there seem to be nearly 200 cultivators in the clan now. I wonder how many clan members are in the late stage of key training. In addition, the annual Immortal Fate Festival will start again in a few months. I wonder how many lucky clan members will be there. Yun Yongzhu finished drinking a pot of wine tea, and the sun finally couldn't hold on and set all over the mountain. He rinsed the tea set and put it in the storage bag, and then entered the practice room. When Yun Yongzhu walked out of the practice room again, it was already the first quarter of the next day. He thought to himself that he still had to find a way to obtain the soul-nourishing grass and refine the soul-nourishing pill to take. Although practicing the immortal god art has the effect of increasing the power of the soul, and the effect is not small, Yun Yongzhu still feels that the speed is too slow. If there is a soul-nourishing pill to assist in practicing the immortal god art, it is estimated that the effect will definitely increase exponentially. In addition to the auxiliary power of the soul-eating golden cicada, the three-pronged approach will definitely speed up the growth of his spiritual consciousness. Yun Yongzhu thought for a moment and put aside this sudden thought, wanting to go out of the cave. As soon as his feet left the ground, his spiritual sense saw Yun Yongzhu coming outside the bamboo garden, so he stopped and waited. Brother, I made breakfast, let's eat together. Second brother, do you have to eat every meal at the foot of the mountain? Yes, after practicing in the morning, I make something to eat, then walk around the spiritual field, clean up the weeds, occasionally water and fertilize, and then go back to the yard to make blank talisman paper, or practice magic for a while, etc. And time will soon be noon. After lunch, I will start drawing talismans, and take a walk with the spiritual crane. It will be the evening hour, and then I will arrange a meal to digest the food, and the day will pass. Yun Yongzhu was speechless. This is really a boring life. But when he thought about it carefully, wasn't he almost the same as his second brother when he was in the key training stage? If he thought about it carefully, he was not as good as him. He only had one spiritual meal a day, and most of his time was either refining pills, comprehending the pill formula, or practicing spells. That was all he did. Chapter 266. First time attending a clan meeting. Second brother, eat by yourself. I have to go to the clan leader. After saying that, Yun Yongzhu performed the flying skill and flew out of the cave. Not long after he set out, he received a message from a paper crane. It was sent by the clan leader, asking Chen Zeng to go to the meeting hall of his cave to attend the clan meeting. Yun Yongzhu thought that he was just going to the clan leader's place. Half a quarter of an hour later, he flew to the outside of Yun Shicheng's cave. He gently tapped the restrictions outside with his spiritual power, and the barrier soon revealed a hole for him to enter. Yun Yongzhu went straight into the hall facing the main gate, where the clan leader was waiting for him. Xiaojiu, why are you here so early? Others haven't arrived yet. Hello, second grandfather. I have other things to do, so I just came to you. Sit down and tell me, what's the matter? Yun Yongzhu sat on the chair and took out a jade slip and handed it to him. Second grandfather, this is my unexpected gain from returning to the sect this time. It's a spell. Take a look. Yun Shicheng took it curiously. Could it be some secret technique? Otherwise, Xiaojiu wouldn't have handed it over to him. He put the jade slip on his forehead, and soon, he looked at Yun Yongzhu with surprise and emotion. I didn't expect that you, Xiaojiu, would have such a great opportunity this time. When you go back, with this intermediate level soul locking art, the family can develop new sources of income. Yes, second grandfather, when someone in the clan learns this spiritual art, we can open a few restaurants. By then, the business will be better than that of ordinary restaurants. Let's bring this up at the clan meeting later, and ask my 12th and 15th brothers to discuss who will be in charge of the restaurant. Well, it's better to make plans early. Oh, by the way, Xiaojiu, Uncle 9 and Uncle 25th have discussed the matter of the 5-element spiritual fruit tree you brought back. It doesn't matter, even if we tell the elders and core members of the family. It's a good opportunity to ask them to discuss how much contribution to the family you should be counted for, as well as this soul locking art. Well, okay. It's still early. You sit here for a while. I'll go change my clothes first. Yun Shicheng called the servants to add tea to Yun Yongzhu and went to his yard. In less than half an hour, Yun Shicheng changed his clothes and came out. Let's go. Wait together in the meeting hall. Yun Shicheng led Yun Yongzhu out of the living room and walked into another magnificent palace on the right. Yun Yongzhu remembered that he had been here before, 7 years ago, when he had just returned to Yunwu Mountain from refining pills on Xiante. At that time, he went directly to the cave of his second grandfather. It was in the lobby of this hall that he took out the pills he had refined one by one, shocking all the elders. Second grandfather, what is the main content of today's clan meeting? Who are the participants? There are many. One is to report the income and expenditure of last year. The second is the matter of the Immortal Fate Festival. The third is the matter of the auction. And the fourth is your matter. And there are some other small matters. This clan meeting is a large clan meeting, which is held once a year. Therefore, in addition to the 5 elders, there are 7 core members of the family participating. You probably haven't seen one of them yet, so it's a good opportunity to get to know each other. Yun Yongzhu nodded. He didn't know how much the family's annual income was now, and how many clan members there were. The grandfather and grandson sat in the meeting hall of the main hall and chatted. After nearly an incensed stick of time, the elders and family managers came to Yun Shicheng's cave one after another. Yun Yongzhu met another elder, a Shi generation elder who looked as young as the 19th grandfather, his 18th grandfather Yun Shiguan. The 18th grandfather Yun Shiguan was the person in charge of the Yangxiao Pavilion store in Kangzhou. He did not return to the family every year. Only at the annual family meeting could he have the opportunity to see him. Chenzeng, except for the other 4 foundation building masters, all the core figures of Yunwu Mountain were present, and everyone sat down at the long table in the hall according to their status. Yun Shicheng called the attendant to add a chair next to him, and after letting Yun Yongzhu sit down, he said to everyone, "It's time, the family meeting will begin. Let's talk about the income of the store last year first. 15th brother, let's start." Yun Shiqiang, a family elder, ranked 15th in the Shi generation, was in charge of the business of all the stores in the family. He took out a thick account book, opened it and began to tell the story. Everyone, last year the 10 shops of the family earned a total of 21,082 spirit stones. Among them, the main city earned 2,860, Kangzhou earned 2,456, Lanzhou earned 2,586, Xiangan City earned 2,086, Wuiyao City earned 2,170, Yunfu City earned 2,046. Yunmeng City earned 2,090, Yunjin Mountain earned 2,120, Wanhua Valley earned 2,015, and the Yunwu Town Shop earned 653. Everyone listened carefully, and some took out pens to record. The clan leader nodded, and said to Yun Daifeng, "Daifeng, what's the situation with the ore vein? How much ore was produced last year?" Yun Daifeng, the only elder of the family's day generation, was responsible for managing the family's 4 ore veins, and he was also one of the participants in the ore transaction. Yun Daifeng continued, "Chief, last year the 3 black iron mines produced a total of 2,281,500 kilograms of ore, and the black iron mine produced 1,215,000 kilograms of ore. Last year, the ore income was 4,200 spirit stones." Yun Yongzhu listened to the side and felt that the number was a bit shocking. Elder Yun Shifen concluded, "The data of the 15th brother is consistent with the spirit stones I have entered. In addition, the family shipped out 1 million kilograms of black iron ore last year, with an income of 2,200, and 500,000 kilograms of black iron ore, with an income of 2,000. The total income last year was 25,282 spirit stones." Yun Yongzhu did some calculations and found that the ore was equivalent to selling at a low price. However, as a person who has been away from home for many years, he still needs to explore the family's situation more, and he believes that the elders in the family are not fools. Here he heard the 5th grandfather talk about last year's expenditure. After talking about income, let me talk about expenses. Last year, the actual monthly expenditure was 7032 spirit stones, 530 kilograms of first grade low grade spirit rice, 930 kilograms of first grade medium grade spirit rice, and 310 kilograms of first grade high grade spirit rice. The maintenance of the family formation cost 2460, the 3 spirit medicine gardens cost 2520, the mission hall paid 30 to 24 task rewards, the purchase of refining materials cost 1800, the purchase of spirit medicines and spirit fruits cost 900. And the temporary employment wages paid 866, with a total expenditure of 18,798 spirit stones. After deducting the expenses, 6484 spirit stones were saved last year. After deducting the 6,000 spirit stones that had to be offered to the sect every year, there was still 484 left. Everyone smiled when they heard this. Last year's income was much higher than the year before. The year before last, more than 5,000 spirit stones were saved, but the amount had to be reserved for the offering. In the end, it was still a loss, but last year there was a real surplus income. If we work harder this year, we should be able to have a good income, and the future will be better and better. Looking back 7 years ago, the family's finances were in deficit, and every year they calculated how much debt they still owed. Good. Not bad. Fourth brother, tell me about the current number of people in the family. Patriarch, everyone. The number of mortals in the family is now close to 220,000, and the number of cultivators has increased by 1 compared to last year, a total of 182, 33 in the late key training stage, 93 in the middle key training stage, 53 in the early key training stage, and 3 in the foundation building stage. Are there any rewards for the parents of the newly added cultivator? Everything is in accordance with the rules. Pills, nourishing herbs, money, honors, etc. have been arranged. The clan members are very encouraged, and this year's Immortal Fate Festival can be looked forward to. Very good. Are there any other changes? Yun Shikian is the only second level upper grade weapon refiner in the family, responsible for the training of the family's weapon refiners. She said, clan leader. Last year a young man in the clan was promoted from a key training apprentice to a first level lower grade weapon refiner. However, many children in the clan are no longer inclined to refine weapons, and have chosen the art of alchemy. What should we do? This. Fourth brother, you can talk about it. Everyone was talking about it. Some said that they couldn't continue like this, as it would affect the family's inheritance of refining weapons. Others said that the spiritual stones earned from alchemy would sooner or later exceed the income from refining weapons, which would be beneficial to the family's finances. There were many opinions, and the hall was noisy for a while. After a long time, the elders didn't come to any conclusion. Yun Yongzhu had been listening quietly without saying anything. At this time, he was also thinking about this problem. What the elders said made some sense. After all, the family's weapon refining technique had been passed down for more than 200 years, and it was a combined attack weapon refining method, which naturally had its advantages. For example, there were 4 second level weapon refiners in the family, who could take turns to guide the clan members to refine magic weapons. Even if you can't become a formal weapon refiner, it is still relatively easy to become a weapon refiner apprentice. After all, the art of alchemy has just been introduced to the family not long ago, and there is only one first level lower grade alchemist to teach alchemy. Moreover, this only teacher usually has to take time out to refine the Bigu pill and the key gathering pill, and there is really not much free time to teach others. In this case, learning the art of alchemy will undoubtedly be more difficult, and becoming an alchemy apprentice will be even more difficult, which will waste the time of many family members. Yun Shicheng suddenly asked Yun Yongzhu for his opinion. Zio-jiu, do you think this matter is good or bad, and how to solve it? Everyone stopped discussing, and wanted to hear Yun Yongzhu's opinion. There is no conflict between refining equipment and alchemy. If the family wants to develop, the more skills the better. The root of this matter is still the number of cultivators in the family. If the number of cultivators can be increased as soon as possible, there will be no problem. The children of the family will naturally learn whatever skills they want to learn, as they like. The elders all nodded thoughtfully and listened to Yun Yongzhu continue. However, the problem now is that the number of cultivators cannot grow so rapidly, so we can only choose according to the advantages of the 2 skills of alchemy and refining. For now, learning refining is more advantageous. There is no shortage of low-level refining materials, elders with refining experience, and refining techniques in the clan. In addition, the name of my Yun family as a refining family is widely known in Yunzhou and nearby states, and alchemy has only spread in Yunzhou in recent years. More importantly, refining is the foundation of my Yun family's foothold in Yunzhou, and it cannot be easily shaken. Therefore, we cannot allow the younger generations in the clan to blindly choose the art of alchemy. As an alchemist, although my path to alchemy is very smooth, I can say responsibly that not everyone can become an alchemist, and it is very difficult for most people to become an alchemy apprentice. Why not tell the little guys in the family school that, as long as they can't refine a furnace of Bigu pills in a month, they will no longer be allowed to practice the art of alchemy and switch to the art of refining. This Bigu pill is the simplest of all the pills. There are only a few kinds of materials to refine it. It takes a month to refine a furnace. In Yun Yongzhu's opinion, there is really no need to continue to study the art of alchemy. This not only consumes spiritual stones and materials, but also wastes the time and energy of the clan members. It is really unnecessary. Yun Shichen nodded and said, Xiaojiu's words make sense. 11th sister, do you think this is okay? Yun Shiqian said, it's okay for now, but I hope that the 4th brother will cooperate more and do more homework for the little ones in the family school. 11th sister, don't worry, I will often guide them. Yun Shichen signaled everyone to report anything else. Grandfather 7, Yun Shais, said, the tasks of the family mission hall are generally divided into family tasks and private tasks. There are very few private tasks, so let's not talk about them for now. This family task is divided into mountain gate tasks and outing tasks. Mountain gate tasks are tasks that can be completed within the family territory. Generally, they are to take care of the spiritual fields and spiritual medicines within the territory, as well as to quench refining materials, refine tools, make blank talisman paper, draw talismans, and refine pills. These tasks generally do not have big risks, and some tasks are very time consuming, so the task rewards are not generous. Outing tasks are more diverse, including taking care of the spiritual fields outside the family, guarding the family territory, taking care of the family store, delivering goods for the family store, purchasing refining materials and alchemy materials, and 7 years ago, a bounty type task was added. Among these tasks, taking care of the family store is less dangerous, and the task rewards are not much. The task rewards for escorting goods and purchasing materials are higher, but the family does not issue many of these tasks. This bounty type task is a task with the most generous task rewards in the mission hall, so in recent years, more and more clan members have accepted this type of task. In the past 2 years, 3 tribesmen were seriously injured because of this bounty mission, but it still did not dampen the enthusiasm of the tribesmen. Especially after the news of the foundation building pill spread in the tribe, more tribesmen took up this bounty mission. I'm worried that if this continues, there will only be old guys like us left in the tribe. How can the family operate like this? In the long run, there will definitely be tribesmen who die outside. Chief, should this bounty mission be cancelled? Yun Shichen shook his head and looked at the other elders. Tell me, should we cancel this bounty mission? 8th grandfather Yun Shiyuan said first, this mission cannot be cancelled. Since the announcement of this bounty mission, the clan's spiritual medicine garden has added 18 first level precious spiritual medicines and 3 second level low grade spiritual medicines, which exceeds the accumulation of the past 10 years. 11th Aunt Yun Shiqian said, even I have used a portion of star sand handed into the mission hall to refine a second level medium grade spiritual weapon. I don't agree to cancel bounty missions. Yun Shiqiang, Yun Daifeng, Yun Daihao and Yun Daixin also expressed their disapproval. 7th brother is too worried. The clan is not short of clan members to take care of the business. There is no need to cancel this bounty mission. Yun Shihuan's reason for disapproving of cancelling the bounty mission is different. As a cultivator, how can I not have the spirit of progress? If I were not responsible for the important task of guarding the family, even I would not be able to resist accepting the bounty mission. Yun Shijin, Yun Shifan and Yun Shiguan did not express their opinions. Seeing that no one agreed with his idea, Yun Shais had to give up. Okay, let's leave it at that. Old 7, the Immortal Fate Festival will begin in 3 months. Have you put up the tasks in the mission hall? Patriarch, 3 clan members have already accepted the tasks, and there are still 3 to go. Okay, if there are not enough people before the Immortal Fate Festival begins, remember to talk to Old 5 and make a decision as soon as possible. Don't delay. Yes. The next thing is the Yunzhou City auction. 1 month after the Immortal Fate Festival, it will be the Qingshan sect's once in 20-year Ascension Conference. Will anyone from the other 4 families come to pay respect to the mountain? What are the rules? Yun Yongzhu suddenly remembered that he had been in the sect for 20 years. He wondered how many fellow disciples would come this time, and how many good seedlings he could find. There was also this 5 family joint auction, and Yun Yongzhu was very interested. Clan leader, as in previous years, the 5 families will gather in Yunzhou City and each prepare their own auction items. The number of auction items is unlimited, and the order of appearance has not yet been determined. Our family only has magic tools, spiritual tools, and talismans. This year, we will add spiritual fruit wine and elixirs. Leo Wu, you can choose and draw up a list of items for the auction. It must be decided after the Immortal Fate Festival. Zio Jiu, you can take time out in the next few months to refine some high quality elixirs. Yes. Clan leader. Yes. Clan leader. Why not add another auction item? He smiled and continued, how about auctioning a few free elixir refining quotas? Yun Yongzhu did this just to make a name for himself in Yunzhou, so that the cultivators of the same level and lower levels would know that he could refine second level elixirs and recognize his level of alchemy. In this way, he can plan the spiritual medicines, spiritual plants, and even elixir recipes he wants. Even if it is just to expand his network, earn spiritual stones, or facilitate the task of refining elixirs in the future, it is not a loss. Yun Yongzhu's words made everyone in the hall's eyes light up. This is a good idea. They all have a deep impression of Yun Yongzhu's alchemy skills, which can never be easily erased in their lifetime. Now that Yun Yongzhu has advanced to the foundation building stage, it is said that he can also refine second level elixirs. This really surprised them. You know, Yun Yongzhu has only been building his foundation for a short time. Good. Zio Jiu's idea is good. Leo Wu, remember to fill it in. Okay. Clan leader. Yun Shichen continued, when Zio Jiu came back 2 days ago, he brought back a 5-element spirit fruit tree to the family. You should discuss how much contribution you should give to Zio Jiu. And today, he presented the family with a second level spirit art soul locking art, and you should discuss the contribution as well. His words immediately surprised and astonished everyone. 5-element spiritual fruit tree. This is a 3rd grade high quality spiritual plant. This 5-element spiritual fruit tree is already 15 years old. It is estimated that in 200 years, it will be able to produce 5-element spiritual fruits that can rival the key gathering pill and the spirit gathering pill. I think the 5-element spiritual fruit tree should be counted as 97,000 family contribution points. The others nodded repeatedly. Who among them had not heard of the name of the 5-element spiritual fruit? When they heard that the family had a 15-year-old 5-element spiritual fruit tree, they were so happy that their mouths were grinning from ear to ear. This soul locking art can be counted as 3,000 contribution points. Seeing that everyone had no objection, Yun Shifen asked Yun Yongzhu to give him his identity card, took out the family contribution point jade card, and allocated the 10,000 contribution points. That's it for this clan meeting. The things that were handed down must be done. After Yun Shichen finished speaking, the elders and stewards left his cave with laughter, and Yun Yongzhu also left with everyone else. Chapter 267 Spiritual Herb Garden. Yun Yongzhu left the clan leader's cave and caught up with Yun Shiyuan, who was about to perform the cloud soaring technique. 8th Grandpa, wait a minute. I have something I want to ask you for help with. Oh. Zio Jiu, what do you want me to help you with? So Yun Yongzhu said that he wanted to build a spiritual medicine garden in his cave. Zio Jiu, this spiritual medicine garden is not a small matter. It doesn't mean that you can just build it. You have to invest spiritual stones every year in the future. 8th Grandpa, I don't need to worry. I just heard from 5th Grandpa at the clan meeting that the spiritual stone expenditure of the family spiritual medicine garden has been spent. Since you know the importance, I won't persuade you. I will follow you to the cave first to take a look at the conditions in your cave. The spiritual medicine garden is not just a matter of spiritual stones. Yun Yongzhu was overjoyed when he heard this and hurriedly saluted and said, then I'll trouble 8th Grandpa. After that, the two of them flew up the mountain. Yun Yongzhu deliberately slowed down and led Yun Shiyuan to fly to his cave. After flying for half an incense stick of time, the two arrived at Yun Yongzhu's cave, Fiyu Palace. Entering the cave, Yun Yongzhu pointed to the direction of the mirror lake in the west and said to Yun Shiyuan, 8th Grandpa, you see, the large open space in the west is the one I left vacant for the construction of the spiritual medicine garden. The small lake was dug out by me to plant some water attributed spiritual medicines. Do you think this condition is okay? It looks good from a distance. It is enough to build a small spiritual medicine garden, but I still need to check it out from a close distance. Of course, 8th Grandpa, we will go there now. The two walked along the bluestone road paved in the cave and headed west. When they entered that area, there were no bluestone roads or stone paths to walk on. Yun Yongzhu planned to wait until the spiritual medicine garden was built, and then build several bluestone paths or small stone roads according to the layout of the spiritual medicine garden. Yun Yongzhu squatted down and grabbed a handful of weeds on the ground, then grabbed a handful of soil, kneaded it with his fingers, put it to the tip of his nose and sniffed it, then nodded. This was not the end. He walked around the area, took out tools, dug some soil from the ground, deep or shallow, and carefully observed and felt it. Yun Yongzhu walked all the way to the edge of Mirror Lake and checked the water quality of Mirror Lake. Xiu, the place you chose is good. It has sufficient soil fertility and abundant spiritual power. Although the environment is relatively simple, there is a small lake here, which is a relatively suitable place to open a medicine garden. There are 3 main points in the layout of this spiritual medicine garden. The first is the environment. As an alchemist, you should know that the growth habits of each spiritual medicine are different. Some like shade or sun, some like swamps, and some like deserts. So you have to find a way to transform the environment here. What it will look like depends mainly on what spiritual medicine you grow. This is also one of the factors that distinguish spiritual fields from medicine fields. You can build the environment bit by bit, or even ignore it. After all, some spiritual medicines do not have strict requirements on the environment, but this 5-element condensation array must be arranged. In addition, in order to cooperate with the 5-element condensation array, the gathering spirit array is also indispensable. 5-element condensation array? What kind of formation is this? Yun Yongzhu knew about the gathering spirit array. This was the first time he heard of the 5-element condensation array. This formation is rather niche, and its grade is only first grade. Only a few spiritual plant masters who specialize in growing spiritual medicines know about it. 8th Grandpa, does the kid have to set up these 2 formations first? Yes. These 2 formations can be said to be the basic formations for opening up medicinal fields and building medicine gardens. You all know about the spirit gathering formation. In fact, it is mainly used to gather the spiritual energy from the surroundings, so that there is enough spiritual energy in the spiritual medicine garden. The purpose of setting up this 5-element condensation formation is to disperse the gathered spiritual energy according to the 5-element attributes, forming an environment of 5 kinds of spiritual energy: gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. I see. Then after this 5 attribute spiritual energy environment is formed, can we grow spiritual medicines? Yun Yongzhu stroked his beard, smiled and nodded. Yes, then you just need to create a similar one according to the environment that the spiritual medicine likes, and that's it. Thank you, 8th Grandpa, for your advice. Yun Yongzhu cupped his hands and continued, then I'll go prepare the formation first. When it's ready, please trouble 8th Grandpa to come to me. Wait, I still have something to tell you. Yun Yongzhu pretended to listen carefully. These 2 formation families have their own formation diagrams, and I can also set them up. You can just go to the 7th brother in the mission hall to exchange the formation flags and formation bases. Let me see. Your area is not big, so you can just exchange 108 formation flags for the spirit gathering formation. It would be best if all of them are 2nd order formation flags, so that you can arrange it into a 2nd order spirit gathering formation. This way, your investment will be reduced in the future, and it will only benefit the growth of spiritual medicines. In addition to the formation flags, the 5-element condensation formation also requires an formation base. There are also 108 formation flags, and 1st order formation flags are enough. 5 formation bases need to be prepared, which are spiritual objects of the 5 attributes of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. Yun Yongzhu thought for a moment and took out a long sword magic weapon from his storage bag. 8th Grandpa, do you think this fire attribute magic weapon can serve as the array base of the 5-element condensation array? Of course it can, but your fire attribute array base is a 1st grade upper grade magic weapon, and the other 4 attribute array bases cannot be too different from it in grade. It is best to be the same 1st grade upper grade, otherwise it must be a 1st grade middle grade. 8th Grandpa, I understand. Okay, I have nothing to explain. Let's go back to the spiritual medicine garden first. When you are ready, send me a communication talisman and I will come to help you set up the array. Thank you. 8th Grandpa. Yun Yongzhu sent Yun Xiuan to the gate of the cave, and only returned to the cave after seeing him perform the cloud soaring technique to take off. He went directly back to his main courtyard, the bamboo garden, and wanted to look through his storage bag to see if there were any unused 5-element magic weapons in it. Yun Yongzhu sat on the stone bench in the courtyard and probed into the storage bag at his waist. He saw that the storage bag was filled with various items in a messy pile. Only the spiritual stones in the jade box containing spiritual medicine were relatively neatly stacked in a corner of the storage bag. His spiritual awareness range is now more than 66 feet and 3 feet in radius. The extra 3 feet is the result of his hard work in the past 6 months. And the size of his first grade superior storage bag is only 3 feet in radius. According to common sense, Yun Yongzhu's spiritual awareness can know the details of all the items inside as soon as it penetrates. But the actual situation is not so. As Yun Yongzhu stored more and more items, everything was piled together. Even if his spiritual awareness range became larger and wider, it did not have the function of perspective. Yun Yongzhu searched for a long time and couldn't help feeling irritated. It seems that it's time to organize the storage bag again. This time, he must put it in order, otherwise it will be too inconvenient for him to use the items every time. For example, when he gave spiritual fruits to the clan members, after returning to the family, it really took him a while to take out the different varieties of spiritual fruits. Chapter 268 Initial Construction. However, there was no rush to sort out the storage bag. The most important issue now was to find out if he had a suitable 5-element magic weapon as the base of the 5-element condensation formation. Yun Yongzhu walked into his bedroom from the courtyard and took out all the items in his storage bag, except the spirit stones and various jade boxes. Suddenly, the entire floor of the bedroom was filled with the things he had taken out. This is clothing, this is elixir, this is a talisman, and the golden tortoise shield must be kept. Yun Yongzhu put the useless things back into his storage bag one by one. Hey, this is... Yun Yongzhu looked at the 4-foot-long feather-shaped magic weapon and wondered when he had obtained it. He recalled slowly and soon remembered the first time he returned to the family from the sect. Only then did he remember that this was the top-grade flying magic weapon that his third uncle said he would give him when he was distributing the spoils with his third uncle and Uncle Tang. 7 years have passed since then, and it feels different when he thinks about it now. When he returned to the sect from the family, he caught up with the alchemy competition, and after the competition, he became a disciple of Jinden. Then he learned about the Zuanshan secret realm, and spent 5 years preparing to enter the Zuanshan secret realm. Therefore, he ignored this rare first-grade high-quality flying magic weapon. Yun Yongzhu put the white feather magic weapon back into the storage bag, and then put the items into the storage bag one by one. He had recalled that he still had more than a dozen first-grade medium and low-quality magic weapons in his hand that he had not dealt with. These magic weapons were also obtained from the storage bag of the evil cultivator 7 years ago. He vaguely remembered that there was a medium-quality magic weapon with water attributes in it. Because he couldn't use it, he had never paid attention to it. Yun Yongzhu quickly put the items that had nothing to do with the magic weapon into the storage bag, and then revealed several medium and low quality magic weapons hidden inside. He searched and immediately found a small jade bottle. Found it, this is it. Yun Yongzhu waved his hand and put all the remaining items in the bedroom back into the storage bag. It seems that he only needs to buy 3 types of array bases with gold, wood, and earth attributes. Yun Yongzhu went out to check the sky. It was only noon, still early, so he set out to the mission hall at the foot of the mountain. There were 4 tribesmen at the counter in the mission hall, including Yun Shais. After greeting them one by one, Yun Yongzhu explained his purpose. Grandpa Key, I want to exchange some formation flags and formation bases for setting up the formation. Do you have any here? Xiaojiu, how many formation flags do you want? What grade? Do you want a magic weapon or something else for the formation base? 216 formation flags are needed, 108 first grade upper grade formation flags, and 108 second grade lower grade formation flags. For the formation base, Just give me a medium grade magic weapon with the 3 attributes of gold, wood, and earth. It doesn't matter what type it is, auxiliary magic weapons are also fine. Oh, so many. I can still get you a first grade upper grade formation flag, but you have to ask the 2nd and 5th brothers for the 2nd grade lower grade formation flag. The 5 element medium grade magic weapons are all available in the mission hall. I'll get them for you. You wait here for a while. After saying that, Yun Yongzhu led the 2 juniors into the inner hall to look for them. About half a minute later, the 3 of them came out. 108 first class high quality formation flags, check them out. By the way, one formation flag is worth 35 contribution points, so 108 is worth 3780 contribution points. And these 3 mid-quality magic tools, you need to pay 360 contribution points. Usually, the price is mentioned first, and then the decision is made, whether to buy or not, but Yun Yongzhu knew that Yun Yongzhu was not short of money, so he mentioned the price now. Yun Yongzhu was indeed straightforward, and he paid 4140 family contribution points neatly, and then put away the formation flags and the 3 5-element magic tools. Thank you, Grandpa Key. After leaving the mission hall, Yun Yongzhu went straight to Yun Shicheng's cave. Xiaojiu, why are you here again? Is there anything else you haven't told me? Second grandfather, I want to ask if the clan has any 2nd level lower grade formation flags. I just went to the mission hall to ask, but there are none. Yes, there are. How many do you need? 108. Why do you need so many? Fortunately, the clan has some in stock, but these spiritual objects above the 2nd level are all in the family warehouse. My 5th brother and I have to open the family warehouse together. How about this? I'll send them to you tomorrow. Yun Yongzhu was not in a hurry to set up the formation today, so he nodded in agreement. In that case, please trouble second grandfather. Yun Yongzhu returned to the cave and took out the recipe for the soul feeding pill and continued to ponder it. The more he pondered the essence of this recipe, the more it felt like a fasting pill. The main medicine in the recipe is changeable. It can be the meat essence of monsters and spirit beasts, or some spiritual medicine that is beneficial to spirit beasts. The auxiliary medicines are mostly spiritual herbs and some ordinary Chinese herbal medicines that replenish blood and ki, as well as a few auxiliary medicines for the green heart pill, such as knot grass. However, compared with the bigu pill, the soul feeding pill is undoubtedly much more complicated. In the recipe of the soul feeding pill, in addition to the main medicine, there are 85 kinds of auxiliary medicines in total, which is not comparable to the simple bigu pill. But for Yun Yongzhu now, the soul feeding pill is a piece of cake. He took out a communication talisman and told his second brother Yun Yongzhu to prepare 5 sets of materials for refining the soul feeding pill within 3 days. Yun Yongzhu came to the bamboo garden house soon. Brother, give me the list of spiritual medicines. Yun Yongzhu handed over the list he had prepared and allocated 5,000 contribution points to Yun Yongzhu and then simply instructed him 2 words. Go to the family mission hall first and ask if the mission hall has spiritual medicines. Use these contribution points to buy them. If there are no spiritual medicines, you can go down the mountain to buy them with spiritual stones. Remember to make a careful account and keep separate accounts for contribution points and spiritual stones. Yun Yongzhu planned to start refining the soul feeding pill after the formation of the spiritual medicine garden was set up. After arranging things, he continued to think about the proportion of the pill formula in his hand. Early the next morning, Yun Yongzhu had just come out of the practice room when the clan leader Yun Shichen came to the door. These are 108 second level low grade formation flags, and you need to pay 18,360 contribution points. Yun Yongzhu transferred the contribution points to him and asked him if he wanted to come into the cave to sit down. Yun Shichen waved his hand and refused and went down the mountain. After the clan leader left, Yun Yongzhu cast a communication talisman to inform his 8th grandfather Yun Yongzhu that he had prepared the formation flags and formation base for the formation. Half an hour later, Yun Yongzhu went up the mountain. 8th grandfather, you are really fast. I'm fast? I think you are fast. I just told you yesterday what to prepare, and you prepared them all this morning. Yun Yongzhu smiled, not knowing what to say. The two soon walked to the large open space west of the cave. Xiaojiu, take out all the array flags and array bases you prepared. Yun Yongzhu did as he was told and took out all the array flags and array bases. Yun Xiuan put them into his storage bag and drove Yun Yongzhu away. Go to the side and watch. Don't interfere with my array. Then he began to walk on the large green grass beside the mirror lake, probably measuring the size and observing the environment. Yun Xiuan walked and stopped for an incense stick of time before taking out the array flags and inserting them into the ground or in the air one by one. Yun Yongzhu could see clearly that the 8th grandpa used the 2nd level low grade array flags, so he was setting up the spirit gathering array. Moreover, when he bought the spirit gathering array disc, his fellow senior brother Li Yunhei from the Wanbei Pavilion gave him a small spirit gathering array diagram. No matter how things change, they still remain the same. He also studied this small spirit gathering array so he could confirm the array method arranged by the 8th grandpa. Yun Xiuan's actions were very quick, as if he didn't need to think about it, and he directly inserted the array flags. Soon, all 108 array flags were used up. Yun Xiuan waved Yun Yongzhu over. Xiaojiu, can you connect the formation flags and activate the formation? Of course Yun Yongzhu could. He was also someone who had used formation flags to set up formations. So Yun Xiuan ordered Yun Yongzhu to start the gathering spirit array, and he himself began to study the arrangement method of the 5-element condensation formation. Because there was no formation disk to assist, and the formation was not set up by him, Yun Yongzhu could only use his spiritual power and divine sense to connect the formation flags one by one. As a result, the speed was a bit slow, and it took him half a quarter of an hour to connect all the formation flags of the gathering spirit array with his spiritual power. Just when his spiritual power connected to the last formation flag, all the formation flags emitted a dazzling white light, and then the white light disappeared, and all 108 formation flags disappeared from Yun Yongzhu's sight. The gathering spirit array was successfully activated. In an instant, a huge amount of spiritual power gathered towards the west of Yun Yongzhu's cave, and these spiritual powers almost formed a faintly visible funnel shape. It took a full quarter of an hour for the fluctuations of spiritual energy to gradually subside. 8th grandfather. Big brother, what are you doing? Before Yun Yongzhu could answer, Yun Yongbei stepped into the range of the 2nd level lower grade spirit gathering array. He sighed comfortably. So that was the movement of the spirit gathering array just now. Are you going to open up a spiritual medicine garden? Yes. Once 8th grandfather sets up the 5-element condensation array, it will be almost done. Although the 5-element condensation array is only a 1st level array, it seems to be much more complicated. Yun Xiuan traveled for more than an hour before setting up the array flag. Almost done. After burying the array base, you can try to activate the array. Yun Xiuan handed the water attributed, medium-grade jade bottle magic weapon to Yun Yongzhu, and told him to bury the jade bottle in the center of the mirror lake. Then he instructed Yun Yongbei, who was watching the fun, to help bury the golden wood attributed magic weapons. When Yun Yongzhu came up from the mirror lake, all 5 magic weapons had been buried 3 to 5 feet underground. Xiaojiu, you should come. Your cultivation is more profound. Yun Yongzhu followed Yun Xiuan's instructions and linked the formation flags with spiritual power step by step. Then, like the formation flags of the gathering spirit formation, all the formation flags lit up with white light. It's not over yet. Use spiritual power to communicate with the 5 instruments. The order is wood, fire, earth, gold, and water. Don't make a mistake. He listened to the instructions of the 8th grandfather and injected spiritual power into the place where the instruments were buried until the spiritual power entered the mirror lake. Then, all 108 formation flags of the 5-element condensation formation disappeared and hid. Gradually, the spiritual energy within the range of the formation began to fluctuate violently again, and it took a while to calm down. Xiaojiu, the 5-element condensation formation has been successfully arranged. Even if the 8th grandfather didn't say it, Yun Yongzhu could feel it. The spiritual energy within the range of this formation was very abundant, even more than that in Yun Yongzhu's practice room. Xiaojiu, these 2 formations have just been set up, especially the 5-element condensation formation. It will take 3 days to truly separate all the 5 element of spiritual energy in the formation. During this time, you can plow this piece of land deeply. This step is indispensable for both spiritual fields and medicinal fields. As for the fence or courtyard wall outside the spiritual medicine garden, it is up to you whether to repair it or not. I understand, son. Thank you 8th Grandpa for your help. Xiaojiu has nothing else to thank you for, so I will give you some more spiritual fruits. Yun Yongzhu gave Yun Xiuan 20 spiritual peaches, 60 spiritual dates and 4 red heart grapefruits without hesitation, and then personally escorted him out of the cave. Chapter 269 Unexpected Summons. When Yun Yongzhu returned to the Mirror Lake, Yun Yongbei was using a spiritual hoe to turn over the spiritual land within the formation. Brother, the land here is really fertile, and the earth's energy and spiritual power have been dispersed. I don't think we can turn it over without earth dragons. Of course, after building the cave, I asked my 17th aunt and my eldest brother to help tidy it up. These lands have been deeply plowed, and a crop of astragalus and safflower grass has been planted. I see. I was wondering why this land is so fertile. Yun Yongzhu looked at Yun Yongbei and couldn't help asking, second brother, why don't you take care of this spiritual medicine garden? Don't worry, I'll give you a raise. No, a raise in monthly salary. What do you think? According to his original idea, he planned to take care of it himself at first, and after everything in the spiritual medicine garden was on track, he would ask his 6th uncle Yun Daejin or 17th aunt Yun Daebing to come to the cave to take care of it occasionally. But now he has set his sights on his second brother. After all, Yun Yongbei has been managing the spiritual field for 11 years, and as far as he knows, the family's spiritual medicine garden is also very short of people who grow spiritual medicines, so he doesn't have many choices. After returning this time, he went into the 3 spiritual medicine gardens of the family to see that, although there are less than 100 kinds of spiritual medicines in them, and there are only 12 spiritual medicines of the 2nd level lower grade or above, a small number of 1st level precious spiritual medicines are planted on a large scale. Yun Yongzhu roughly observed the circle, and found that there are at least 40,000 spiritual medicines in the 3 spiritual medicine gardens. The spiritual medicines in this spiritual medicine garden are not like the spiritual valleys or purple ginseng, green blood grass, and blood returning grass in the spiritual field, which are simply rained, fertilized, and weeded. All the spiritual medicines have to be carefully cared for one by one, and their various needs for spiritual energy, soil fertility, temperature, water, light, environment, etc. must be met. Weeding and insect removal are basic requirements. Otherwise, it will be difficult for the spiritual medicine to grow, and the appearance and efficacy of the spiritual medicine will not meet expectations, and it will become a substandard product, and its value will be greatly reduced. Yun Yongbei heard Yun Yongzhu's question, and quickly waved his hand to refuse. Brother, I can't do it. Can this medicine field be the same as the spiritual field? It will be bad if your high level spiritual plants are killed. The more Yun Yongzhu thought about it, the more he felt that this idea was great. His spiritual medicine garden was not like the family's spiritual medicine garden, where there were so many spiritual medicines. Moreover, the 10 second level spiritual medicine seeds that Yun Yongzhu bought were a bit expensive, but they also came with the book experiences in planting intermediate and high level spiritual medicines. He flipped through it. Although most of the content in it explained low-level spiritual plants and spiritual medicines, there was still a small part that talked about medium and high-level spiritual plants. Yun Yongzhu took out the book Experiences in Planting Intermediate and High-Level Spiritual Medicines and handed it to Yun Yongbei. Second brother, don't refuse so quickly. Take a look at this. There are 20 kinds of low-level spiritual medicines, 5 kinds of medium and high-level spiritual plants, and the specific planting methods, as well as various matters that need to be paid attention to when cultivating. Although there are no spiritual medicines that I want to plant, you can consider it and challenge yourself. If you can take care of my small herb garden, your planting skills can be improved a lot. Besides, think about it, this is Yunwu Mountain. If there is any problem, you can go to 8th grandpa and 6th uncle for help. Yun Yongbei was fooled by his eldest brother and was a little tempted. Yes, if he encountered a problem that he couldn't solve, he could ask 8th grandpa for help. Yun Yongzhu added fuel to the fire. Second brother, look, this is the second level spiritual medicine and spiritual plant I brought back. There are only 5 kinds, each with 2 seeds. You can try to cultivate one first, test the water first, and see if it can sprout successfully. There are only 5 kinds, and the highest grade is only the second level upper grade. You can definitely give it a try. This is your eldest brother. Yun Yongzhu thought to himself that, if it could be done, it would be good for both himself and his elder brother. Okay, elder brother, you can't blame me if the plants don't grow. Don't blame me, it's just a few seeds. I'll buy more when the time comes. I don't believe that my brother can't take care of a few second level spiritual medicines. Just after Yun Yongzhu decided to take over the spiritual medicine garden, the forbidden barrier outside the cave was touched. Yun Yongzhu sensed a spiritual light that turned into a paper crane passing through the forbidden barrier and was coming in his direction. Second brother, these 10 seeds are for you. You can take your time to organize the spiritual medicine garden. I have something to deal with here. Yun Yongzhu received the communication talisman paper crane on the way. Xiaojiu, come to my cave as soon as you receive the news. I have something to tell you. This was the voice of the clan leader Yun Yongzhu. Didn't the clan meeting just end yesterday? Yun Yongzhu, with curiosity and doubt, directly opened the cave restriction and flew to the clan leader's cave at the foot of the mountain. Second grandfather, do you have anything to say to the child? Xiaojiu, you are here. Sit down and wait for a while. I also called your parents, Uncle 9 and Uncle 25th to come over. This matter is very important, and I have to tell you all about it. Yun Yongzhu's curiosity became even stronger, especially when he saw Yun Shicheng's face full of joy, eagerness, and restraint. The two sat quietly in the living room for a while, and before they waited for the person they wanted to wait for, a clan member who looked only in his 20s and had a handsome appearance and was at the 7th level of key training came in unexpectedly. Greetings, clan leader. 14. Why are you back at this time? Yun Yongzhu was surprised. Why did the second grandfather look at Uncle 14 so surprised and anxiously? Hello, Uncle 14. Xiaojiu, you are back from the sect, just in time to tell you about my discovery. Clan leader, don't worry, I didn't alarm the people in Blackstone Mountain, and no one discovered my identity. When Yun Yongzhu heard the 3 words Blackstone Mountain, he remembered the Huayu pill that he accidentally found when he was buying materials for building the cave. I wonder if there is any important discovery that is worthy of the clan leader calling all the foundation building monks in Yunwu Mountain. Wait a minute, the news you found is too important. Let's talk about it after Uncle Jiu and the others arrive. Okay, Uncle In less than half a quarter of an hour, Yun Daichen, Yang Lia, Yun Zuxan and Yun Zuxan entered the living room of Yun Shicheng's cave. Greetings to Uncle Jiu and Uncle 25th. Brother Wu and sister-in-law Wu. Greetings to Uncle Jiu and Uncle 25th. Dad and Mom. No need to be polite, Changer. What's the matter? You called us all here. Yun Shicheng then briefly explained Yun Yongzhu's accidental discovery of the Huayu pill. After that, I sent 14 to Blackstone Mountain to inquire about the Huayu pill. This morning, he sent a message saying that Khan's Huayu pill was obtained in the cave of an ancient cultivator. 14. Since you are back, please tell us about your discovery in detail. When Yun Yongzhu and the others heard the words ancient cultivator's cave, their eyes suddenly lit up. 14. Please tell me in detail how you found out about this matter. Is this news true and credible? My elders, I took the time to return to the family just because of this matter. Chapter 270 Planning. Then, the only voice left in the hall was Yun Daiji, who told the whole story of how he found out about this matter. It turned out that after he accepted the task given to him by the clan leader, he disguised himself as a hard-working monk to approach the children of the Khan family in Blackstone Mountain. However, the people he met were just ordinary clan members in Blackstone Mountain, and it was impossible for them to know the secret of the origin of Huayudan. Just when Yun Daiji was at a loss, he accidentally met Khan Mulan, the youngest daughter of the Khan family leader. After recognizing the other party's identity, Yun Daiji tried his best to contact Khan Mulan. After nearly 4 months of getting along, Yun Daiji finally gained Khan Mulan's trust. He put a precious dioxin powder in the tea, and after Khan Mulan drank it, he questioned her about the Huayudan clearly. Lena said that the formula of Huayudan was accidentally obtained from an ancient cultivator's cave, and the Khan family member who obtained the formula was Lena's father. He said that the ancient cultivator's cave was very large, and the location, where the formula was obtained, was just the outermost part of the cave. Yun Yongzhu noticed that Uncle 14 called Khan Mulan affectionately, but he didn't care too much. His mind and eyes were now full of the ancient cultivator's cave. According to speculation, this ancient cultivator was most likely an ancient alchemist. Khan Mulan didn't find out that you were investigating the matter of Huayudan. Does he know your true identity? Grandpa Jiu, the effect of Huaxinsan is amazing. Lena didn't realize that I had questioned her about Huayudan. I mentioned to her that the child was a cultivator of the family, but I didn't say that I was a disciple of Yunwu Mountain. That's good. Everyone think about it. Is there any way to get the specific location of this ancient cultivator's cave and not publicize this matter? Everyone thought hard, but really couldn't think of any good way. In fact, Blackstone Mountain is just a key training family, with only about 100 disciples in the family. With the strength of Yunwu Mountain, it is definitely easy to wipe out this family. But if you do this, it will undoubtedly make the matter known to everyone. And if you do it too much, you may not be able to get the news of the ancient cultivator's cave. Everyone knows that there is no profit without early rise, and profit comes first in everything. By then, other foundation building cultivators in Yunzhou will definitely investigate the cause of the matter. 14th uncle, have you ever been to Blackstone Mountain? Yun Yongzhu thought, see if he can let 14th uncle quietly take them into the mountain gate of the Khan family. Yun Daiji shook his head like a rattle to deny it. Of course not. I just met Lena in the branch of Yunwu Mountain. After discovering her identity, she trusted me after several life and death experiences, which gave me an opportunity to take advantage of her. Yun Yongzhu couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. He racked his brains and only thought of this way. Others were also very troubled about how to get the news of this ancient cultivator's cave. The reason why Yun Shichen and Yun Yongzhu and others are so concerned is actually because of the cultivation method. They now have 5 foundation building cultivators in Yunwu Mountain, but except Yun Yongzhu, the cultivation method of the others in the Jiandan period has not been settled. Although this matter is not a matter of the moment, it is related to the great plan of Yunwu Mountain for thousands of years. The reason why Yunzhou can't produce a Jiandan cultivator is actually closely related to the cultivation method. Yun Yongzhu and Yun Yongzhi both have 3 spiritual roots, but the gap between their cultivation is increasing day by day. There are many reasons for this. One is that Yun Yongzhu's soul power is abnormal and naturally strong. The second is that Yun Yongzhu takes a lot of pills. But even without these 2 reasons, Yun Yongzhu's cultivation will definitely be higher than Yun Yongzhi, just by relying on the method. Therefore, Yun Shichen attached great importance to the news of this ancient cave house, and called all the foundation building cultivators in the mountain gate. Just when everyone was at a loss, Yun Daiji showed a hesitant expression. He also knew the importance of the ancient cultivators' caves. Once the family obtained some treasures or skills from them, the family could change the world, and it was not impossible for a Jiandan cultivator to appear. Nineth grandfather, 25th grandfather, I have a plan here. I don't know if it is feasible. Tell me about it. Everyone in the hall focused their attention on him. Yun Daichin swallowed nervously. At this time, he suddenly realized that his 5th brother and 5th sister-in-law were already in the foundation building period. In fact, I can reveal my identity to Lena, and then go to Blackstone Mountain to propose marriage. As long as we become relatives, we can naturally enter their mountain gate. Yun Yongzhu's eyes lit up. This is a solution. 2 great-grandfathers, I think this method is feasible. After becoming relatives, the Khan family will not be too wary of us, and we can pass through the defense formation of Blackstone Mountain openly. As long as we enter the mountain gate, everything will be easy. Yun Daichin and his wife also nodded repeatedly. The two heads of the Yun family were also secretly moved. This is really a good plan. Then everything depends on you, Jia. When Clan Mulan agrees to your proposal, you will tell the clan and elders and return to Yunwu Mountain to prepare the betrothal gifts. Then the 5 of us will set out together. After entering Black Rock Mountain, we will control all the clan members on the mountain with thunderbolts. Yun Zuxuan's words made Yun Daiji pale. He couldn't help but get anxious and interrupted him. 25th Grandpa, since we have 5 foundation building cultivators in Yunwu Mountain, why not use force to suppress them, and then use benefits to lure them, and take the Black Rock Mountain clan as a vassal family? Yun Yongzhu finally understood that his 14th uncle had put himself in trouble and really fell in love with the girl named Clan Mulan. Even Yun Yongzhu saw it, so naturally others also found it. Everyone stared at Yun Daiji, their eyes full of ridicule. When did we say we wanted to destroy the Khan family? If they know better, everything will be fine. Then the ceremony of your covenant with a female cultivator of the Khan family named Mulan can be held as usual. Yes, all treasures are usually owned by those who are capable. As long as the Khan family can explain the location of the ancient cave and the recipe of the Huarayu pill, our family will naturally not make things too difficult for them. 14th brother, killing is not a pleasant thing after all. If we can get what the family wants smoothly, and they don't leak this matter, we will not only not hurt them, but also give them many spiritual objects. Seeing that no one had the intention to kill them, Yun Daiji couldn't help but feel relieved. Yun Shicheng joked, no wonder you kid had to go back to Yunwu Mountain, even though you sent me a message. Are you relieved now? If you are relieved, go back quickly and coax Clan Mulan. Everyone laughed, and the atmosphere changed from solemn to relaxed. Then everyone discussed the specific operation, such as finding out the specific number of cultivators in Blackstone Mountain, their cultivation, their identities, etc. In the front, Yun Daiji was the main person. Once Yun Yongzhu and others entered Blackstone Mountain, they would have to take full control. They must not alarm the ordinary people in Blackstone Mountain, etc. After the discussion, Yun Daiji took his leave. He had to continue his mission. Yun Yongzhu and others did not stay in Yun Shicheng's cave for long. They fantasized about the treasures and spiritual objects in this ancient cave, and then they packed up their moods and went back to their respective houses. Now everything is waiting for Yun Daiji's good news. Once Yun Shicheng receives the news, he will start to proceed according to the plan. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271 Refining Soul Feeding Pills. After Yun Yongzhu returned to the cave, he walked briskly towards the direction of Mirror Lake. He really didn't expect that he just accidentally discovered an ancient lost elixir, which involved the cave of the ancient cultivator. This Huarayu pill was a very precious elixir even in ancient times. According to his guess, the owner of this ancient cave is very likely to be an ancient alchemist, and the alchemist's level must be not low. Thinking of this, Yun Yongzhu couldn't help but feel itchy and looked forward to Uncle 14's good news as soon as possible so that he could explore this cave as soon as possible. Fortunately, the clan leader sent Uncle 14 to Blackstone Mountain to inquire, otherwise they might miss this important news. Yun Yongzhu thought that he had to take time to prepare some talismans because the cave of the ancient cultivator was not easy to enter. Thinking about the ancient cultivator's cave all the way, Yun Yongzhu soon walked to the edge of Mirror Lake. He saw his second brother Yun Yongbei was seriously turning the land beside Mirror Lake. Yun Yongzhu looked for a while and was about to leave, but was discovered and stopped by Yun Yongbei. Brother, wait a minute, I have something to tell you. Second brother, go ahead. Yun Yongbei pointed to the medicinal field under his feet and said to Yun Yongzhu, this spiritual land has been opened up now. After deep plowing, we can start trying to grow higher level spiritual medicines. Although this medicinal field is inside the cave, don't we need to use spiritual wood or other materials to enclose this land? Yun Yongzhu had already thought about it. Anyway, this medicinal field is inside his cave, so he can just put up a fence casually. Forget about the spiritual wood, just use the ordinary building materials left over from the last cave construction to build a fence. Second brother, you can assign this matter to those chores. Yun Yongzhu nodded, indicating that he understood, and then began to busy himself with the matters of the medicinal field. Yun Yongzhu remembered that he had told his second brother yesterday to buy the materials for refining the soul-feeding pills, so he reminded him again. Second brother, I plan to start refining the soul-feeding pills in 2 days. Don't forget the materials for refining. Yun Yongzhu waved his hand without raising his head and said, brother, don't worry. I have almost bought the materials for refining the soul-feeding pills. I only need 2 materials. I will send them to you at the bamboo garden cottage tomorrow. So Yun Yongzhu returned to the bamboo garden cottage with peace of mind and continued to comprehend the recipe of the soul-feeding pills. For the rest of the afternoon, Yun Yongzhu was immersed in the recipe of the soul-feeding pills. It was not until the sun set that Yun Yongzhu came back to his senses. After having dinner with his second brother Yun Yongzhu, he went to the practice room to practice the exercises. After practicing the immortal god art for 5 or 6 days in a row, Yun Yongzhu decided to practice the burning wood art tonight. When Yun Yongzhu opened his eyes again, he felt the harvest of a whole night of hard practice and felt very emotional. With this progressive practice, he felt that it would be a long time before he advanced to the middle stage of foundation building. It's a pity that the 2 remaining wood flame pills are only of low quality. I have to wait 2 months before I can take them. After Yun Yongzhu left the training room, he quietly comprehended the recipe of the soul-feeding pill in the courtyard of the bamboo garden. An hour later, Yun Yongzhu came in and handed him 5 portions of materials for refining the soul-feeding pill. Brother, the materials are for you. I'm going to get busy. After handing the materials for the soul-feeding pill to Yun Yongzhu, Yun Yongzhu hurried out of the bamboo garden. Yun Yongzhu checked and found that the materials were of good quality. Moreover, the main material, the monster meat, was bloody, and a fishy smell rushed into his nose. Although the smell was not good, Yun Yongzhu was very happy. This monster meat was high quality meat that had not been drained of its essence and blood. It was perfect for refining the soul-feeding pill. Moreover, Yun Yongzhu saw the subtle lavender arc in the monster meat at a glance. After a little identification, he realized that the fishy monster flesh contained a little thunder attribute spiritual power. Yun Yongzhu looked at the texture and characteristics of the monster meat, and after a little thought, he thought of the purple thunder snake, a low-level thunder attributed monster deep in the Yunwu mountain range. The second brother was really a careful person. Knowing that he was hatching a thunder attributed spirit beast, he deliberately went to find the monster meat containing thunder attributed spiritual power as the main medicine for refining the soul-feeding pill. No wonder he said yesterday that there were still a few medicines that were not prepared. It should be the meat of the purple thunder snake. Yun Yongzhu put the 5 portions of the soul-feeding pill materials into the storage bag with satisfaction, and then continued to study the key points of refining the soul-feeding pill without panic. The next morning, Yun Yongzhu just came out of the practice room and entered the alchemy room. He calmly took out the materials for the soul-feeding pill and placed them one by one on the stone table for alchemy. Yun Yongzhu is now a second-level lower-grade alchemist. He can even refine the second-level soul-gathering pill with more than 200 refining materials. How can he be nervous about the first-level soul-feeding pill with only more than 80 materials? After he had processed all the spiritual medicines in an orderly manner, he cut the main ingredient, the flesh of the purple thunder snake, into small pieces. Yun Yongzhu suddenly felt like he was cooking, and he couldn't help but laugh. Soon he cut the 5 or 6 kilograms of monster meat and put it aside. Yun Yongzhu took out the purple gold furnace and began to preheat the furnace with the wood heart true fire. Then he added an appropriate amount of water into it and then poured all the cut pieces of purple thunder snake flesh into it. He boiled the monster flesh in the spiritual rainwater in the furnace with the wood heart true fire just like cooking broth. The scene in the purple gold furnace was very wonderful. The clear water wrapped the monster flesh and blood and hung in the center of the furnace, and below it was a light green motionless spiritual flame. After only half an incense stick of time, Yun Yongzhu melted all the monster flesh and blood into the clear water, and the two blended seamlessly. There was an alluring fragrance floating in the alchemy room, a faint meaty fragrance. Yun Yongzhu put the spiritual medicine materials processed on the alchemy stone table into the purple gold furnace one by one according to the order accorded in the recipe of the soul feeding pill. While he was tempering the essence of the monster meat, he melted the spiritual medicine into juice and blended it in. The medicinal properties of this recipe are neutral and peaceful, and there is nothing to be reconciled, so everything went very smoothly. Yun Yongzhu only needed to control the temperature of the wood heart true fire, which was very simple for him, an experienced alchemist. After putting the last spiritual medicine in, he continued to temper the liquid in the furnace. Only after tempering it 3 times did Yun Yongzhu put a 9 turns melting pill art into the purple gold furnace. Yun Yongzhu's spiritual consciousness observed that an inexplicable force was generated in the purple gold furnace, which suddenly evaporated more than half of the liquid medicine that originally had a lot of water in it, and the liquid medicine suddenly became much thicker. He felt that the time was right, and hurriedly hit the 9 turns to condensing pills he had prepared in his hand into the purple gold pill furnace, and the thick liquid inside was instantly divided into several small balls. Yun Yongzhu changed the hand seals in his hands, and quickly pinched the 9 turns to collect pills hand seals, waiting for the right time to hit the seals in his hand. After about 10 breaths, he felt that it was time to hit the pill collection seal into the purple gold pill furnace. When Yun Yongzhu was refining pills, in addition to relying on his spiritual sense, he relied more on his intuition, which was also a skill he gradually acquired after years of alchemy. After the 9 turns to collect pills was hit, the lid of the purple gold pill furnace automatically flew up, and a series of small pills quickly entered the empty jade bottle placed on the alchemy stone table. Yun Yongzhu used his spiritual power to call the jade bottle to his hand, and looked inside. 6 grey-black pills with small arcs on the surface were squeezed together. He poured out one, and the arc on the surface of the pill shocked him. He only felt a slight tingling sensation, and he got used to it in just a moment. This soul-feeding pill is somewhat similar to the Bigu pill. The main material is not fixed. Carnivorous spiritual pets use monster meat as the main material, and vegetarian spiritual pets use spiritual plants and spiritual medicines as the main material. The colors of the pills made with different main materials are also different. For example, Yun Yongzhu used jade crystal rice, red marrow rice, and green spirit rice to make Bigu pills before, and the colors of the finished pills were all different. The soul feeding pills he bought for his brothers before, and the soul feeding pills he made today are not only different in color, but also different in medicinal power according to his estimation. Yun Yongzhu was very curious. He wondered if the soul feeding pill containing thunder attribute spiritual power would have a different effect if it was taken by his second brother and his spiritual crane. He thought about it and prepared to take time to test it. Yun Yongzhu thought about it. It took him more than half an hour to refine this furnace of soul feeding pills. It should be, because it was the first time to refine it, and because it was the first time to refine it, there were only 6 pills. Fortunately, there were 2 top-grade soul-feeding pills among them, and among the other 4, 3 were of low grade. Chapter 272, Organizing the Storage Bag. Yun Yongzhu put away the bottle of soul-feeding pills in his hand, and prepared to refine all 5 ingredients, to save him from having to do it again in the future. He took out the ingredients for another soul-feeding pill from the storage bag, and began to process them in an orderly manner. As expected, because he had just come into contact with soul-feeding pills, it took him a little longer to refine. The second time Yun Yongzhu refined soul-feeding pills did not take as long as the first time. The third time was on track, and he was able to refine a furnace of soul-feeding pills in less than half an hour. It took nearly 2.5 hours to refine all the ingredients for the 5 soul-feeding pills. 5 ingredients, 4 times successfully. He refined a total of 26 pills, 4 high-grade soul-feeding pills, 8 mid-grade soul-feeding pills, and 14 low-grade soul-feeding pills. This is Yun Yongzhu. Even if the soul-feeding pills Yun Yongzhu refined were only first-grade soul-feeding pills, The recipe ingredients for these soul feeding pills were as many as 86 kinds. Unlike the key gathering pills, the grass returning pills, and other pills, which only had more than a dozen or 20 kinds of ingredients. What makes Yun Yongzhu even more outstanding is that he only spent less than 10 days comprehending the recipe of the soul feeding pill before he could start refining it. Moreover, out of 5 materials, 4 were successful, with a success rate of 80%. One furnace of materials can produce up to 20 pills. His 4 successful furnaces produced either 6 or 7 pills, with a success rate of more than 30%. This achievement is enough to make Yun Yongzhu look down on most alchemists. He put away the soul feeding pill he had refined, tidied up the alchemy room a little, and came to the room where the Thunder Eagle eggs were hatched. The Thunder Eagle eggs had no other changes, except that their vitality was more intense. Yun Yongzhu took out 5 spirit stones of the 5 element, twisted them into powder, and sprinkled them around the Thunder Eagle eggs. While he was sprinkling them, he said to the Thunder Eagle eggs, "Little Lei, I have prepared your rations for you, so you must come out early." However, the Thunder Eagle eggs did not move at all, and did not respond to Yun Yongzhu. He did not care, as long as they were not dead. After Yun Yongzhu finished spreading the spirit stone powder, he left the incubation room, and came to the courtyard, to brew his treasured moon watching bitter tea, preparing to comfort himself. Yun Yongzhu did not intend to keep all the 26 spirit feeding pills for his own Thunder Eagle. He wanted to test the efficacy of the medicine on his brother's spirit cranes, before distributing them to them one by one. After drinking a cup of moon watching bitter tea, he refilled himself with another cup, and suddenly remembered that he could still do something leisurely, such as organizing storage bags. Yun Yongzhu did it as soon as he thought of it. He sent a communication talisman to his second brother, asking him to run errands and buy 10 storage racks that were 6 feet long, wide and 6 feet high. Then he leisurely drank the second level low grade spirit tea and waited for Yun Yongzhu to come back. However, Yun Yongzhu obviously did not consider whether the storage bag in his brother's hand could hold so many large storage racks. Not long after, Yun Yongzhu came to Yun Yongzhu to explain the whole story, and Yun Yongzhu handed him a storage bag. "Second brother, I'll lend you this storage bag. You must return it to me later." Yun Yongzhu took it in his hand, probed his consciousness into it, and immediately exclaimed, "Brother, the space inside is too big. Is this a first grade top grade storage bag?" "Yes, 500 spirit stones each. Do you want it? I'll sell it to you at a lower price, only 480. This first grade top grade storage bag was purchased by Yun Yongzhu several years ago in order to enter the Zhuanshan secret realm. After leaving the secret realm, he always wanted to sell it, but unfortunately there was no suitable time and opportunity. So this top grade storage bag has always been in Yun Yongzhu's hands, and it ranks high among all his magic tools. Not long after he left the Zhuanshan secret realm, he erased his soul imprint on this storage bag, so he could lend it to others temporarily. "Brother, you are kidding. Where can I get so much money?" Yun Yongzhu rolled his eyes at Yun Yongzhu, and took the storage bag, to buy the storage rack, that his brother needed. About half an hour later, he returned to Fiyu Palace from the foot of the mountain. "Brother, I'm in the cave. If you have anything, send me a message." "Okay, go ahead." After Yun Yongzhu handed the storage bag and the shelf inside the storage bag to Yun Yongzhu, he went back to his own business. Then Yun Yongzhu sorted out the storage bag directly in the courtyard of the bamboo garden house. He took out all the items in his storage bag, and then took out a shelf, and stood it next to it. Yun Yongzhu first cleaned out the empty jade boxes that were easiest to clean, and stacked the wooden boxes and jade boxes of various sizes on the shelf in the courtyard according to their sizes and types. The most items in his storage bag were various wooden and jade boxes containing spiritual plants and medicines. The height of the shelf was 6 feet, or 20 meters, which looked very high. If ordinary mortals used it, they would have to be equipped with a tall ladder. It was relatively simple for Yun Yongzhu to place items at this time, and the object control technique naturally helped with the high places. Each shelf has 10 to 20 storage spaces. Yun Yongzhu used a quarter of a shelf, that is, 6 1-meter high storage spaces, to neatly stack all the empty jade boxes on the shelf. Then he began to stack small boxes containing spiritual medicines and spiritual fruits. These wooden boxes and jade boxes containing spiritual medicines were not a small number. They were all the materials for refining pills he brought back from the sect. For example, the materials for refining muon pills and huling pills that had not yet been configured, such as bixa grass, huxa grass, etc. There are also some spiritual medicines that he has collected and obtained over the years. For example, the spiritual medicine gifts he received when he first met his master's wife and senior brothers and sisters, the spiritual medicines he obtained by killing casual cultivators and evil cultivators, the prepared high-quality King Feng deer antlers, and the spiritual medicine gifts he received at the foundation building ceremony. In addition, there are wooden boxes containing about 500 remaining spiritual fruits such as spiritual peaches, spiritual dates, and spiritual grapefruits. These boxes containing spiritual fruits and spiritual medicines occupy 3 layers of storage space. Next is the magic weapon, such as the top grade 9 dragon cauldron, the middle grade flowing light wing, the top grade white feather flying magical instrument, the middle grade rhino armor set, the low grade rhino sword, the top grade golden turtle shield, the middle grade vestments given by the family, the low grade dagger, the middle grade longsword given by the sect, and more than a dozen middle and low grade magic weapons obtained from the evil cultivators. Of course, in addition to these, there are also some jades and utensils, such as the white water heart jade for making jade slips, knives of various sizes, styles, and materials, small hoes, small shovels, etc., all of which he has placed on the shelves one after another. Then there are various talismans and classics, pill recipes, etc. The most precious among them is the sword attack talisman that Huang Changsheng gave him to save his life and the 2 earth escape talismans. There are also the 14 second level talismans that Huang Changsheng and his wife gave him before they went into seclusion. Yun Yongzhu sealed all these talismans in jade boxes and placed them on the shelf according to their grades and functions. There were dozens of travel notes. Yun Yongzhu thought about it, took them down from the shelf, and put them on the empty bookshelf in the study. As for the recipes, there were not many. Most of them were left in the secret room of the sect's cave. There were only the recipes for the recovery pill, the soul restoring pill, and the jade slips for the soul feeding pill he made today. The most valuable one was the thick book of alchemy experience that Huang Changsheng gave him before his retreat, which Yun Yongzhu carefully placed in a jade box. Then Yun Yongzhu put some bottles and jars on the shelf. The empty ones took up 1 layer, and several bottles of elixir and more than a dozen jars of spiritual honey were stored together on a shelf. The rest were several boxes of clothes, 1 box for inner garments, 1 box for pants, 1 box for coats and outer robes of various styles and colors, and the last box contained more than a dozen thin and thick cloaks. Yun Yongzhu placed the 4 boxes directly on the storage rack, occupying 4 layers, and then put the box containing bedding on it. Then he placed several green jade, white jade, and red jade hairpins on the top of a large box containing clothes. In addition to the above, there are 20 small and exquisite storage boxes in the yard, which are the tools Yun Yongzhu uses to store spiritual stones. But now only 3 small boxes have spiritual stones. The 3 small boxes are all first level low grade spiritual stones. The 10 medium grade spiritual stones given to him by his master's wife were placed in a small jade box. Yun Yongzhu placed all the small boxes in the jade box on a shelf. At this time, there were only some sundries left in the yard, such as 2 bottles of heaven and earth spiritual water, a small bag of Wangai bitter tea, a small bag of Wuyin tea, 5 second level low grade demon beast inner pills, a piece of King Feng deerskin, a few animal horns, and more than a dozen ores of different sizes and varieties. Finally, there were several bags of 6 jin or 10 jin spiritual rice of different varieties and grades, a first grade top grade iron cauldron, several pieces of red sunwood and scorching sunwood, 2 jars of spiritual rainwater and other daily necessities. 4 of the 10 shelves purchased were half empty, and Yun Yongzhu put them all in the storage bag he often used, just enough to fill the storage bag. The first grade top grade storage bag that had not been sacrificed was put into his arms. Storage instruments are like this, they cannot be stored in each other. I only heard from my master that storage instruments and spiritual treasures above the 4th level should be able to store low level storage instruments. After being busy for half a day, I was able to roughly organize the things in the storage bag so that all the items would not be scattered in the storage bag, which would be very inconvenient to find. Yun Yongzhu's spiritual sense probed into the storage bag again and saw that there were 10 neatly placed shelves inside, and all the items were placed on the shelves layer by layer. When he swept his spiritual sense over them, he could see all the items clearly at a glance. They were no longer the same as before they were sorted out. Chapter 273 The Magical Use of Soul Locking Technique. Yun Yongzhu simply organized the storage bag, and more than half an hour had passed. He sat back on the stone table in the courtyard, drank a whole cup of Wangaiubi tea, absorbed the spiritual power contained in it, and transformed it into cultivation, and took a deep breath. Yun Yongzhu sighed in his heart. It was a pity that the Wangaiubi tea was scarce, otherwise if he drank it every day, it would be much better than the Muan pill or even the Jilling pill. He looked up at the sky and saw that the sun was at its peak. It was estimated that in another half a quarter of an hour, it would be 3/4 of noon. Speaking of this Yunwu mountain, because it is covered by the 2nd level upper grade large scale dueling array and the 5 element defense array, even if it is not spring all year round, the 4 seasons are not so distinct. It is not too hot in spring and summer, and not too cold in autumn and winter. In short, it is very suitable for human habitation. Yun Yongzhu still remembers that when he was a child, he was finally able to move freely. He stood outside the cave and looked down the mountain, only to find that this world has 4 distinct seasons. He could never forget the scene he saw not far from the cave. At that time, the mountain below was covered with silver, while the mountain was covered with green grass. These 2 completely different pictures gave Yun Yongzhu, who was only 3 years old at the time, a great shock. For him, this was a shocking power. Therefore, Yun Yongzhu worked harder to learn the language, common sense, and basic knowledge of cultivation here, hoping to have the qualifications to cultivate when he grows up. He poured himself another cup of Wangaiubi tea and recalled the unexpected gain of soul locking art from this return to the sect. After Yun Yongzhu sent a communication talisman to his second brother Yun Yongbei, he took out a purple ginseng and placed it on the table, and then began to pinch the seal of the magic formula with his fingers flexibly, so fast that only the after images of his hands could be seen. Soul locking art has been in his hands for more than 4 months. Although he is busy practicing, refining pills, and comprehending the pill formula to improve his alchemy skills, he will also take a little free time every day to comprehend this 2nd level spiritual art. Yun Yongzhu made countless hand seals, and a ball of spiritual energy the size of a marble suddenly condensed between his hands. Yun Yongzhu was overjoyed to see this, and he immediately hit the ball of spiritual energy on the purple ginseng lying quietly in the jade box on the stone table. This was the first time in 4 months that he successfully performed this spiritual art, which was really not easy. He felt the spiritual energy lingering in the purple ginseng, and he was not only looking forward to it, but also wondering if the soul locking art would improve the medicinal properties of the purple ginseng as he expected. Yun Yongzhu was concentrating on the purple ginseng on the stone table, and did not notice Yun Yongbei's entry. "Brother, I'm here. What do you want me to do?" "Second brother, you are here. This is it. I have just refined a soul feeding pill. I'll give you one. Go and try the effect on jiffing. If it tastes good, come to me to get the pill, and bring a few to Juana and the other 3. Yun Yongzhu poured out a soul feeding pill that he had just refined for him to see. Yun Yongbei looked at the soul feeding pill in his elder brother's hand. There was a faint dark flickering on the surface of the pill. "Brother, I think we should not use it. Will Jifeng be hurt if he takes this pill? And I still have 6 low-grade soul-feeding pills in my hand, which can last for half a year." According to Yun Yongzhu's estimation, this soul-feeding pill made with purple thunder snake meat as the main material will not only not harm the spirit beast, but the medicinal effect may be better than ordinary soul-feeding pills. "Second brother, you worry too much. Do you think your spirit crane will be hurt if it eats the flesh and blood of the purple thunder snake?" The air suddenly stagnated. After a few breaths, Yun Yongbei took the soul-feeding pill from Yun Yongzhu's hand. "Brother, I'll tell you about the medicinal effect in a few days. I'm leaving first." After saying that, Yun Yongzhu fled the scene with a little shame. Yun Yongzhu shook his head and laughed, and turned his attention back to the purple ginseng on the stone table. The faint spiritual mist lingering around the purple ginseng had dissipated, and its appearance had not changed much from before. He reached out and picked up the purple ginseng and looked at it carefully, then put it to his nose and sniffed it for a while, but still found nothing unusual. Was it his prediction that was wrong? Or was there something wrong with the performance of the locking soul technique? Yun Yongzhu was a little confused, so he bit off a small section of ginseng whiskers and chewed and tasted it. Identifying medicine is a big deal. Before becoming a disciple, Yun Yongzhu figured out a simple method of identifying medicines. After becoming a disciple, he followed his master to systematically learn how to distinguish the types, quality, authenticity, and other methods and knowledge of spiritual medicines. Among them, tasting it in the mouth is a good way to identify and distinguish the medicinal properties of spiritual medicines. But what surprised Yun Yongzhu was that before he could taste it carefully, the ginseng whiskers in his mouth turned into sawdust of dry firewood. He then discovered that except for the skin, there was not much moisture in the purple ginseng. Yun Yongzhu used a little force with his fingers to knead the purple ginseng, and the purple ginseng crumbs fell to the ground. After he rubbed it, the purple ginseng, which was originally as thick as his wrist, became only 2 fingers thick, about half the size, and only 3 short ginseng whiskers remained. Before he put it to his nose, he could smell the strong smell of spiritual medicine from the shrunken purple ginseng. Yun Yongzhu's eyes lit up. It seemed like there was a chance. He took another bite, and the rich purple ginseng juice and plump purple ginseng meat filled Yun Yongzhu's mouth. As soon as his taste buds felt the bitter and sweet taste of the purple ginseng, he knew how much the purple ginseng had changed. As expected, Yun Yongzhu was filled with joy. Purple ginseng is a first-class medium-quality spiritual medicine that matures once a year, but this does not mean that it must be dug out after growing in the ground for a year. In fact, it is not just purple ginseng, but also some other spiritual medicines. The longer they grow, the better their efficacy and medicinal properties will be. At this time, the quality of the purple ginseng he ate was obviously much better, and it was close to the medicinal properties of 2-year-old purple ginseng. The medicinal effects of purple ginseng of different years are obviously different, and the value is also very different. For example, when refining first-level elixirs such as the Bigu pill and the key gathering pill, a 1-year-old purple ginseng can be safely used. But when refining the second-level dueling pill, a 1-year-old purple ginseng is just enough. Experienced alchemists are very strict about the quality of materials when refining precious elixirs or elixirs of the second level or above. Even when preparing the medicine, they will strive for excellence to ensure the success rate and the yield rate of the elixir. Yun Yongzhu chewed the purple ginseng in his mouth. While feeling happy, he also wondered if he could upgrade the purple ginseng with a higher age in his hand. So he stuffed the whole purple ginseng into his mouth and ate it, and took out a 2-year-old purple ginseng from the storage bag. He pinched the complicated seal of the locking soul art in his hand again, and applied it to the newly taken spiritual medicine. Fortunately, Yun Yongzhu's luck was very good. After only 2 failures, the locking soul art was successfully applied again. He waited expectantly for the spiritual power hail of the locking soul art to dissipate, and then skillfully rubbed the fat purple ginseng. This purple ginseng was just like the previous one. The surface had been completely turned into firewood and sawdust, and there was no moisture at all. Yun Yongzhu put the thinner purple ginseng into his mouth, and took a big bite. The result was gratifying. The medicinal effect of this 2-year-old purple ginseng was almost catching up with the 3-year-old purple ginseng. Then Yun Yongzhu couldn't wait to test whether the 3-year-old purple ginseng could continue to upgrade. As he expected, this experiment was not successful. But even so, the value of this soul-locking spiritual technique is very high. The market price of a 1-year-old purple ginseng is only about 1.5 spiritual stones, while the 2-year-old purple ginseng is more than 2.5 spiritual stones, and the 3-year-old purple ginseng is about 5 spiritual stones. Just by performing a spiritual technique, the growth time of a first-level medium-quality spiritual plant can be shortened by nearly a year. This is really too amazing. Yun Yongzhu thought of the process of discovering and obtaining the soul locking technique. He didn't know what happened that caused this spiritual technique to be covered in dust in the Kingshan Academy of Kingshan sect for many years. Chapter 274 Kangshao Drought. However, Yun Yongzhu thought carefully. It took him 4 months to comprehend and successfully perform the soul locking art. For other members of the Yunwu Mountain who are in the key training stage, it would probably take 3 to 5 years to gain something. Spending many years to practice this spiritual art, as long as it can be successfully performed, there will definitely be huge rewards. This is naturally a lot of benefits for the family, but for an ordinary member of the family, I don't know if it is worth it. Although the soul locking art is a second level spiritual art, it consumes very little spiritual power. If the cultivation level of the middle stage of key training can practice the soul locking art to the entry level, it should be able to perform 5 to 10 spiritual arts a day. A successful performance of the soul locking art can make a profit of 1 spiritual stone. This must be said to be a very tempting profit. Yun Yongzhu thought for a while and decided to take the time to mention this soul locking art to his parents to see if they would practice it. As for the 2 great-grandfathers, he had handed over the spiritual secret book in front of the clan leader, elders, and core members of the family at the clan meeting a few days ago. In this way, the clan leader can better arrange people to practice this spiritual secret book so as to benefit the family as soon as possible. For such an important matter, the clan leader will definitely hand over the spiritual secret book to the 2 great-grandfathers for review. After thinking about it, Yun Yongzhu began to experiment with other first level spiritual medicines to see if the effect was the same. Unfortunately, Yun Yongzhu was not able to successfully perform the spiritual secret book every time, so his progress was not fast. However, no one urged him about this matter, and he himself was not as anxious as before, so Yun Yongzhu decided to take it slowly and only experiment with 3 or 5 spiritual medicines every day. 5 days later, he was leisurely comprehending the recipe of Huling Pill in the Kingshan Bamboo Pavilion, but suddenly heard a melodious bell sound in his ear, followed by the second and third bells. Yun Yongzhu not only sat up straight, but also looked solemnly at the direction where the sound came from. There is a bell pavilion on the mountainside of Yunwu Mountain, which houses a giant bell weighing 1,000 pounds and more than 3 feet high, called Hangzang. The bell in the bell pavilion was originally just an ordinary giant bell, used to tell time in the morning and evening. Later, it was replaced with a first-grade lower-grade Hangzang. The sound of Hangzang is loud and far-reaching, and is mainly used to summon and remind the tribesmen. It is generally not easily rung. The last time it was rung was 9 or 10 months ago, during Yun Yongzhu's foundation building ceremony. At that time, it only rang once, mainly to inform the people and guests of Yunwu Mountain that the ceremony had begun. This time, there were 3 rings, indicating that the matter was urgent, but there was no danger. The tribesmen who received the message from the clan leader or elder should obey the instructions, put down their affairs, complete the tasks as soon as possible, or rush to the meeting hall, etc. The meaning of the number of rings of the bell is different. If it rings 9 times, it means that Yunwu Mountain has reached the most critical moment. Yun Yongzhu was full of confusion, not knowing what had happened and needed to ring the Hangzang. He thought about it and sent a communication talisman to 18th Aunt Yun Daily to ask about the matter. In Yun Yongzhu's impression, his 18th aunt was a know-it-all in Yunwu Mountain. Nothing escaped her ears. She must know about the bell sound. The reason why Yun Yongzhu did not ask the elders was that he was worried that they were busy with the bell sound, so as not to disturb them. Moreover, if the matter was really urgent or difficult, the clan leader and the elders in the clan would definitely contact them first. He expected it well. After about an incense stick of time, he received a reply from Yun Daily. Xiaojiu, I just heard a message from my father that there was a drought in Kangshao next to us. The situation is quite serious. Because it was not handled in time, many mortals died in the mortal world, and there were starving people everywhere. It seems that it is for this matter that the clan will ring the bell. It should be to send some clansmen to various places in Yunzhou to observe the climate and find out if our state has been affected. After listening to it, Yun Yongzhu understood the cause of the matter. He felt that Shivagu's guess was not very accurate. It should be to send clansmen down the mountain to find out if the clansmen in the various territories of the family have been affected, and to check the celestial phenomena and climate in Yongzhou. He looked at the scorching sun outside Yunwu Mountain, wondering if the mortal world of Yongzhou was affected. However, since their Yun family received the news of the drought in Kangzhou, there is no reason for other foundation building families and key training families not to know. As long as the drought is known in advance, it can help people in the mortal world to survive safely. No matter how serious the drought is, it is difficult to have any impact on immortal cultivators. However, immortal cultivators are also human beings, not jumping out of stone cracks. The Yun family has more than 200,000 people, and they are all mortals. The Yun family cultivators will certainly not let the heaven and earth mercilessly kill these people with thirst, or starvation. Not only the family cultivators, but even the independent cultivators, who doesn't have a few mortal relatives, how can they be indifferent to their crisis? Moreover, this kind of thing is just a piece of cake for the immortal cultivators who can fly into the sky and call the wind and rain. Even if it is only the first level of key training, you can practice the first level water spells such as rain transformation technique, rain spreading technique, rain falling technique, and raining technique. Water spells are the only spells that cultivators can use to help many mortals in the mortal world survive drought. In the history of Yongzhou, there was a huge drought. The drought was so severe that the cultivators lived in the mortal world and performed spells such as rain falling technique and rainfall technique every day. But even so, many mortals died, and that was a population of tens of millions. Because even if all the immortal cultivators come out, they can't take care of all the mortals. Besides, not all immortal cultivators have compassion. The most important thing is that there are only one mortal with spiritual roots in 10,000. It depends on chance and luck to embark on the path of immortal cultivation. There are about 500 million mortals in Yongzhou, but there are only about 50,000 cultivators. How can every cultivator take care of tens of thousands of mortals? There are immortal cultivators behind every country. Although this data is only an approximate number, it is enough to show how rare people with spiritual roots are, and how lucky they are to embark on the path of immortal cultivation. But these things happened a long time ago, and have long become history. If the drought is not the most terrible, the terrible thing is the epidemic. If the situation is serious, low-level key training cultivators will worry about their lives. But this situation is generally not encountered. We can understand these from ancient books. Mortals are the foundation of the cultivation world. This is the consensus of all immortal cultivators, so they don't care about the life and death of one or two, or even thousands of mortals, but they care about the life and death of tens of millions of mortals. As long as one is a cultivator, the higher his cultivation level, the lower his ability to give birth to offspring and reproduce, as if it is God's punishment for cultivators who plunder the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. The area between states is too vast, and the general transmission of news is limited to the affairs of the immortal world. As for the affairs of the mortal world, whether it is fighting between countries or natural disasters and man-made disasters, almost no cultivators will pay much attention to it. Yun Yongzhu thought that the drought in Kangzhou was probably very serious, so the news of the drought in the mortal world could be transmitted to their Yongzhou territory. But how serious it is not easy to estimate. However, since the family has received the news, they will naturally deal with it with discretion. He only needs to wait for the news. This matter has nothing to do with him, and Yunwu Mountain only needs to pay attention to the living environment of the Yun clan. Yun Yongzhu put this matter aside for the time being, and concentrated on reading the alchemy experience given by his master, and comprehending the recipe of Hulingdan. The main ingredient of Huling pill is Huling fruit. There are 321 kinds of spiritual medicine involved in the recipe, 88 more than Huling pill. You can imagine how difficult it is to refine. Moreover, the value of Huling pill refining materials is much higher than Huling pill. The price of Huling fruit is generally not less than 130 lingshi. The price of Huling grass is only about 60 lingshi, and the price of Huling fruit is more than twice that. Huling pill is a pill specially used to quickly restore spiritual power. After taking Huling pill, it can restore the spiritual power of foundation building monks and Jinden monks in a very short time. The main difference between the 3 grades of healing pill is not the time limit for taking, but the efficacy. After all, this pill costs hundreds of lingxi per pill, and its value is higher than that of Jiling pill. Therefore, this healing pill cannot be taken every once in a while like Jiling pill. This is a life-saving pill for monks who are short of spiritual power when fighting for life and death. Although taking the healing pill can quickly restore spiritual power, taking the high-grade healing pill can restore spiritual power faster. In just half a quarter of an hour, it can restore 50% to 60% of the spiritual power of the foundation building cultivator and 10% to 20% of the spiritual power of the golden elixir cultivator. However, even if it is only a low-grade healing pill, it is still a very precious pill. Only wealthy foundation building cultivators will collect one for themselves in case of emergency. Yun Yongzhu has 2 healing pills in his hand. One is of low-grade quality, which he got many years ago. The other is of high-grade quality, which was given by his master Huang Chengsheng. As a direct disciple of a 3rd-level high-grade alchemist, Yun Yongzhu proudly stated that he never lacks high-grade pills. This purple ginseng is really useful. It is not only needed in the refining of the Bigu pill, the Qi gathering pill, the Qi Hui pill, and the Jiling pill, but also in the healing pill. Why does a 1st-grade top-grade blood ginseng still need to be used to restore spiritual power? Yun Yongzhu pondered over each of the spiritual herbs and medicinal materials in the healing pill recipe, analyzing the weight and medicinal ratio of the recipe. See you tomorrow. Chapter 275 Seize the Opportunity. A month later, Yun Shicheng sent 10 key training clan members from the mountain back to Yunwu Mountain one after another, and confirmed that Yunzhou also had signs of drought. The Yun clan members reported that it had not rained for more than a month in many places in the mortal world, but because there were many rivers and lakes in the Yunzhou area, it did not have much impact on the production and life of mortals. It was precisely because of this that the monks did not find any abnormalities in the mortal world. In the meeting hall of the clan leader's cave, Yun Shicheng explained the situation reported to him by the clan members to the clan elders and family management one by one. In addition, the 4 major families in Kangzhou have sent people here, hoping to get support from our Yunzhou. There has been no news from Lanzhou, so I don't know what the situation is. I don't know how the drought in Yunzhou will develop. I'm afraid that by then we will be too busy in Yunzhou to have time to go to Kangzhou to help. Chief, the other 4 major families, Yunjin Mountain and Wanhua Valley should have received the news. What do they mean? They haven't sent anyone to Kangzhou, and the same is true for our Yunwu Mountain. Let's take care of ourselves first. Yes, distant water can't save nearby fires. By the time we gather people, I'm afraid the drought in Kangzhou will have passed. It's not that we don't support Kangzhou at all. People can't go there, but supplies can be transported there to support it. Fenja, how is the progress of your talismans? Chief, since you gave the order, the 4 top-grade talisman makers, 4 middle-grade talisman makers, and 5 low-grade talisman makers in the clan have stopped all other talismans, and are all making water attribute talismans. In the past 30 days, 29,100 first-level low-grade water attribute talismans, 4,038 medium-grade talismans, and 1,002 high-grade talismans have been carved. Including the clan's inventory, there are more than 76,000 first-level low-grade water attribute talismans, more than 12,000 medium-grade talismans, and only 4,086 high-grade talismans. As for the second-level talismans, even if they are auxiliary water attribute talismans, they are also hard to get materials, so they are naturally not included in the calculation. Got it. Let them continue to speed up the drawing of water attribute talismans. This batch of talismans will be urgently transported to Kangzhou early tomorrow morning, which can be regarded as our Yunwu Mountain support for Kangzhou. 7th brother, 19th brother, this matter will be left to you two to arrange, and you must send someone to protect this batch of materials. Fenja, the price of this batch of talismans will increase by 1 level for the high-grade talismans, while the medium-grade and low-grade ones will remain unchanged. This batch of water attribute talismans will definitely not have trouble selling. If all are sold out, at least 34,000 spirit stones will be earned. Normally, it would take a conservative estimate of a year to sell all these talismans, but Yun Shicheng would not miss this good opportunity to make a fortune. Got it, clan leader, I'll pass it on. That's good. Once this batch of talismans are sold to the destination, you stay there. After selling 1/3 or 1/2 of the talismans, escort the spiritual stones and supplies obtained from the transaction back. Money can move people's hearts, so be careful. Don't worry, we will bring the property back to the family safely. 15th brother, don't arrange for people to distribute magic weapons and supplies to Lanzhou from now on. If it doesn't rain in Yunzhou for the next month, take care of the clan members in various territories of the family first. Yes. 8th brother, how long will it take for the spiritual rice in the spiritual field to be harvested? Clan leader, it has only been planted for more than 2 months. It will take at least 8 months for the spiritual rice to mature. Yun Shichen pondered for a long time and said to Yun Daesun, 8th brother, after this batch of spiritual rice is harvested, there is no need to rush to sell it in Yunzhou. When the time comes, find out about the situation in Kangzhou before making a conclusion. Well, I've made a note of it. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.